All right, what is good, everyone? What is good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to the stream. JoJo Friday is here, locked in, ready to go. Today, we're not going to be talking about Metroid Prime 4 mainly, like we've been doing for the past couple days. We are going to talk about the 6 month or half year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch 2 and a comparison to the Nintendo Switch 1. I have a full video that I'm going to be doing, actually a couple videos for the anniversary of the Switch 2. I've got a video where I'm going to be doing comparison, just myself, where I go over in depth. I have it scripted out, kind of what I want to talk about. Might be a longer video, but we're going to talk about it here with you guys. And then I have another video of what I like and what I don't like in the first half year. So I got two big videos for the anniversary, or for the half year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch 2 that I think you guys are going to really like. Objective, good videos, strengths, weaknesses, all of that stuff. So we're going to go over that, but we're going to talk about what you guys think about the first half year compared to Switch 1, compared to other systems, compared to other Nintendo systems, whatever, compared to what's your favorite, what's your not. And we're going to debate and argue and discuss and all sorts of cool stuff, obviously playfully, for this one here. So yeah, so it's going to be fun, man. I can't wait. It's going to be a great stream today. Great JoJo Friday. So I appreciate you guys coming through. If you can do me a solid, hit that like button. If you have not hit that like button, hit that like button. Let them know that we are streaming today. And yeah, let's get into it, man. I think it's going to be fun. Let's start off, though, with the shout outs. So if you're here, make sure you say what up in the chat. I'll say hi to everybody here. Shout outs to Anonymous Zero. Like I said, yeah, I just wanted to be careful. The game just came out. I didn't know if you were about to drop a spoiler real quick, you know. So I had to be careful on that one. But yeah, it seems like you're cool, so it's all good. Thank you, man. I appreciate you respecting that, you know. All right, so let's start off here. Dior. What's up, Dior? Welcome. You were here first. Dior and Clabby came here. Both of you guys came here really quick. So shout outs. Clabby94, shout outs, man. Appreciate you. If he says Switch 2 first year greater than Switch 1 first year, easily, especially a third party. I think that's the biggest, I would say, area where the Switch 2 just absolutely categorically obliterates the Switch 1. It's debatable on first party games, but it's definitely not debatable on third party unless you just, you know, I don't know. It's hard. Like, unless you just, I'm not sure how you would debate the third party situation. The third party situation is literally night and day. It is, like I said, systematically atrocious in comparison to the Switch 2 when it comes to Switch 1 third party. Like, it's just atrocious. I went through the list, which I'm going to get into in depth, you know, in my video tomorrow, so make sure you guys check that out. But I went through and it was like, oh, goodness gracious, this is pretty bad for Switch 1, which I had to make videos telling you guys why it was so bad. Because nobody believed in the Switch 1. The third-party developers didn't care about the system. They thought it was gonna flop. They didn't want to put their engines and get their games ready, so they just didn't have anything set. They had to scramble afterwards. Once it started selling, they're like, "Oh, okay, it's actually gonna sell. All right, well, let's start, you know, adapting some games. Let's start porting some stuff. Let's start getting something ready, you know." So, whereas Switch 2, from the very beginning, there were select developers that got kits and believed in the system and decided to actually put some effort towards it in the first 6 months. So yeah. Let's see here. 91 Gamer Boy, what's up, man? General Zamora is here. What's up, General Zamora? Anonymous Zero once again. Party Man Cart, what's up, Party Man Cart? Welcome. What is good? What is good? Just another artist says, yo, what's up, Mega Lee? Monado Mario, hey, what's up, Monado Mario? Welcome. 777 AG, double OG, AZ, Pokemon Legends AZ. KO Ken, what's up, KO Ken? Welcome to the stream. Wow, 6 months already. Switch 2 had more salt and 5 stages of grief compared to Switch 1 in the first 6 months. Switch 1 in the first 6 months, there was just less content creators that were creating content. I mean, I would say if you look at the internet and the size of the internet back in 2017 compared to the size of the internet now, the ratio is correct in terms of how many people were saying stuff. But the difference is that there's just a lot more and there's way more money involved. So with way more money involved, you're going to have more grifters, you're going to have more liars, you're going to have more people like that. So yeah, in your respect, that's true.
I have lots of hours into Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Prime 4 I have some thoughts. Shadows is so hit and miss port and game-wise. Prime 4 is awesome thanks to Dread, and now Prime 4, I think I'm a new Metroid fan.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, that's probably what they're aiming for. They're aiming to get a bunch of new people to actually pick up Metroid for the first time, I guess. You know, especially being on Switch and Switch 2. These are two of Nintendo's, you know, fastest selling systems, hottest selling systems, starting out, and of course Nintendo's best selling system ever with the Switch 1. So yeah, absolutely. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for the $3 dono. Always starting the first Ninja Blood. Always starting it off, Justin. Career first shooter. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, Justin. Anybody does 3 or more, you can type or pass up Justin. Remember, guys, JoJo Friday. So, you know, get them awesome tunes going. So if you drop a dono, put your music request. If you can't fit it in your super chat or in your message, just put it in the chat and I got you. If you drop a dono. So thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate that. Also, Dingo on my 40. Thank you for the 68 months of membership. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Fortune's Weave, I suppose. Maybe. Okay, you're talking about something else. Okay. Dank says Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is only good if you mention Pokemon Legends ZA with it. LOL. Sup. If you mention Pokemon Legends ZA with it. Are people doing that? Is that like a thing or something like that? Was Xenoblade 2 within the first 6 months of the OG Switch? No, it wasn't, Blunty. Xenoblade 2 came out in December. Switch 1, it came out in March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So it was in the first 9 months, not the first 6 months. So yeah. Let's see here. Really enjoying Prime 4, already 5 hours with 56% scans, 20% items. Probably gonna 100% this weekend. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna 100% it this weekend, but I'm gonna try to play as much as I can before I get back to Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Actually, I've been kind of playing both. Like last night, I played Age of Imprisonment, and I played Metroid Prime. I played both of them. Today, I played just Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So I played a lot more in 4K 60 mode today on my LG OLED. So I'm trying to get a feel for that. Although I think I noticed on bigger screens, I get more nauseous with first-person shooters than on smaller screens. So I definitely felt a little bit more nauseous and had to take a Dramamine pill when I was playing, or felt like I needed to take a Dramamine pill. Excuse me. I just took breaks in between on my LG OLED than I did on my monitor. So, but then again, I'm playing at 120 FPS on my monitor. I was playing at 60 FPS on my LG OLED. So maybe I'll switch it to 1080p, 120 FPS on my LG. So we'll see how I feel with that. Thank you for the 68 months though. Appreciate it. What's up, DF or DJF? Nice. What's up, man? Welcome. Jeffrey Tucker is here. What's up, Jeffrey Tucker? Orangutanbank says, we don't deserve Smash 6. Well, we'll get it. Let's see here. With Switch 1 first 6 months, many grifters were initially confident Switch 1 was going to fail, but with Switch 2, they just hope and want Switch 2 to fail because, I don't know, because Nintendo's greedy and evil. Yeah, that's the reason. What's up, Sean? 2017 people actually made money from playing games like Breath of the Wild and streaming platforms. Now you need to be loud and have the most strong things to say to get views rather than playing the games. Yeah, and I think that it kind of coincides like with the sports world, with not everything, but in the sports world, the debate shows, the yelling shows, all of those shows do way better than a lot of the hardcore sports shows from back in the day, like the actual like Sports Center, right? Like ESPN First Take, that'll get you more views than Sports Center these days. So yeah, I think that's really what we're looking at here. It's pretty much the same thing with like also social media streaming, whatever platform you're talking about. The more outlandish, the more crazier, the more controversial you'll act, the more attention that you get, therefore increasing your revenue opportunity. But yeah, that's where like I think like the grift comes in. There's people that don't really care about the games, don't really care about the craft, don't really care about that. They only care about themselves. And they only care about, sparking some type of reaction to make money. And I think that it's funny because people act like that's not what they're doing, but that's clearly what they're doing. We see it like guys like Nintendine. We see it with lots of people, people that don't really care about certain things, or they just say things just to try to get a reaction. Like for example, you look at stuff like these portable PCs, where's all the videos about portable PCs selling like absolute garbage? There is none. Where's all the how about the amount of videos of people saying that the Switch 2 would fail, or that it's not going to sell, or the Switch 1 would fail? Where are those same type of videos with portable PCs now that a lot of them have not done well? Oh, well, there's no money in that because people online actually like PC. They revere PC. These are the people that are going to get you all like the hate watching views when it comes to Nintendo content, right? If you make hate watch content, or if you make angry content on PC gaming or portable PCs. There's no money in that because you're just going to get drowned out by, like, you know, schizo PC people. So there's definitely avenues where you can do to make more. So you have guys that are taking advantage of that. Nobody's buying these portable PCs. Yet certain people like Nintendo who love to talk about how bad the Switch 2 is selling, he's made 0 videos about how terrible portable PCs are, but he'll tell you about to go emulate stuff, right? Where's the videos about how bad they've sold? 0. Of course, because the same energy's not there. You see what I'm saying? So that's where the grift is coming into play. You care about sales in one respect. You care about, oh, physical media key cards are a problem. Oh, but by the way, we're also going to tell people to just go emulate and just buy all digital and just do portable PCs. Why is that a thing? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where the grift comes into play. Like, with certain people that are just looking to, you know, make money off of these, like I said, online schizos. So yeah. Let's see. Unfortunately, yes, the rhetoric is making the rounds, and yes, Andres Restart committed the sin just justify his 6-hour run of Prime 4. It's ridiculous and reeks desperation. SRC. Yeah, I don't know. There's no comparison between Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends ZA when it comes down to, oh, they can put more effort or whatever the case is. Those are two completely different things. Sure, Pokemon could be better. Obviously, it could be, but Metroid Prime is a shorter game. Pokemon Legends ZA is a bigger game in terms of what they have to do with the amount of different Pokemon and stuff like that. So, obviously, Retro Studios' priority was more focused on the graphics and the look of the game, and just Samus and using her as a character, whereas Pokemon, they've got to worry about having 200-something Pokemon. Obviously, the graphics could be better, but I think it's silly to compare the two types of games. If you task Retro Studios with making a Monster Battler game with 200-something different enemies that all look as good and modeled as well as Samus is, and also you got to make competitive multiplayer and all these different things, I highly doubt they'd be able to make it look as good as they did, because we still actually haven't seen anybody do that yet with the amount of Pokemon there are in a Monster Battler game. Maybe with the except maybe like Digimon Story, Time Stranger, but even then, like, that game also has its own situations and problems, and I'm not sure if there's online multiplayer in that game either. So yeah. Let's see here. Some people hate Metroid Prime 4. I think it's bad. Some love it. Think it's great. Best to have different takes on the game. Best game have different takes on the game. I think every game, even the best games, have different takes on the game. Look at Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example, or Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Nish Quick? Welcome. Hey, thanks for having me on one of your top YouTube recaps, man. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, the 3 to 4 year deadline. I mean, that's obviously Metroid Prime 4 got it got rebooted in 2018. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. They got a 7-year development cycle with Metroid Prime 4. I don't know if they spent all 7 years making the game. I mean, I'm pretty sure the game was already done probably a little bit ago. So maybe it wasn't all 7 years or 8 years or whatever. But yeah, they definitely got a much longer development time to create the game. Let's see here. I hope you're having a good time with Metroid Prime 4. I didn't get the game, but maybe in the future. Been trying to beat Kirby Air Riders Super Hard Mode. It's a pain, but I want the ending. Hey, keep on at it, beloved angel. Yes, I'm having fun with it. Watch my video. If you haven't seen my video, watch my video on Metroid Prime 4 today. So yeah. Let's see here. I remember the times when there was a less grifting and more enjoyment and just sitting around with friends and playing video games. None of this crap about it being so greedy. Yeah. Sonic Slim says, I don't agree. Like, dude, Sonic Slim, that guy's a troll. He just says the same thing every single time he comes in here. Don't worry about him. So what do you rate? Have you played Metroid Prime, Metroid Other M? What would you, if Metroid Prime 4 is a 7 out of 10, what would you rate Metroid Other M? Would it be much lower than that, or would it be better than that, Sonic Slim? I wonder how the new Bond will be. I mean, they've shown off the game. I mean, if you want to see gameplay, it's there. They've had multiple trailers too, but they have gameplay. They showed it off, so you can go take a look if you want. Why is someone making a big deal that Switch 2 got temporary discount for a holiday sale? I think some people think that that's signs that it's not selling, so therefore they're doing that. But no, it's not signs of that at all. It's actually selling really well. Whenever a retailer makes like a temporary discount, it could even be on a hot selling item, just because they want to move more units and they want to get people to their channel. Because hey, look, we can take 50 off the price, or we can take 25 off the price, and then we can also get them to buy a game or two and make that up. So There's some people that just don't understand sales numbers and don't understand marketing and business, or never worked retail or really don't know about it, but they're just going off of what they think, and usually that's the grifter way. It's not really too much research. Some grifters are good though at making you think that they know retail, or that make you think that they know sales. At least they try to make you think that by talking a lot, but they have no actual hands-on experience. They have no developer interviews. They've never worked in the gaming industry. They've never spoke with other developers or worked in business, but they'll try to give the appearance of that they know more than what they actually do by talking a lot. So for example, people who, sit down and damage control Switch 2 sales for an hour and a half in an edited video, not in a live stream, not actually getting feedback, not actually getting challenging or opposing viewpoints, but actually sitting down in an edited video for an hour and a half damage controlling why the system is selling so well. Like, people like that just, like I said, just talk a lot and, run from debating and discussing their knowledge with other people because they're scared, because they know that they're phony. Those are the type of people that would say stuff like that. Remember, just like how it was scalpers at first, remember? It was scalpers that were buying the Switch 2. The Switch 2 only sold so well. Well, first it was just a hardcore. It's going to be like the Wii U situation. It's going to be like that. That was the first thing. The next thing was, oh, it's just scalpers. When it continued selling well, it's just scalpers. The next thing was, oh, well, nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it at all. The next thing was, oh, well, in Europe it got discounted sales. The next thing was, oh, it's a slow week in Japan. And then the next thing was, oh, now it's shipped versus sold. And the next thing was, oh, well, it's the worst selling system. It's like, it's never a revolving door with some of these people. They're just grifting for money. They've completely shifted what they've said 17 times in a 6-month period. Because once again, they've attracted a certain audience to their base. So yeah, that's what's happening with that, George. MP4 has the best HDR implementation I've ever seen in a game. Bam, damn. Yeah, it's pretty good according to Digital Foundry. I played it in HDR today. Yeah, it looks good. Let's see, it says, I kind of want those upgrade patches for my backlog. Where are they? Well, I mean, they take time and effort, Urkel. You don't just snap your fingers and all of a sudden there's an upgrade patch. There are a limited amount of resources and time to do those. And once again, they're not easy. You have to actually go in and source code tweak and add things. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. And obviously resources, you need developers to do that. Nintendo's, I think, focused on getting some new games out. I think you'll see some upgrade patches here or there, but don't expect like a million different upgrade patches coming out every single month or something like that, because once again, that does take time and resources to do those. Let's see here. What's up, Brian Jedi? Welcome. Wish Prime 4 levels had more traditional Metroid level design. I think it's too simple. There's less exploration for what it is. It's fun though. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that when it comes down to it. Me personally, I kind of like the split up ways that they do it, and you can explore within each of the biomes, and then you can get to the next thing instead of having one big old huge thing and you're going through over and over, and like sometimes you get lost and you got to backtrack on foot somewhere to all this other place. So I kind of disagree. Me personally, like I said, but I'm not the biggest fan of first person Prime. I think it's a lot more annoying to do that in a massive level in first person than it is in third person. That's why I don't mind it so much for like Metroid Dread having that massive labyrinth. I mean, it's not all I mean, obviously you got to take elevators to certain segments, so that's not 100% true. But to me, in first person, having it to where you've got to just backtrack through like one massive place just isn't necessarily ideal for me, because I get nauseous. I kind of like it split up, and then you can just kind of explore and you can get certain things, then go back to some area. Like when you get the certain things to where you can jump on things, I'm not going to spoil it for people. You can go back and, oh, there's an energy tank there in this place now that you got this new ability. So I kind of like it more like that than sitting there in one big labyrinth and having to trek across the whole thing multiple times backtracking. But that's when, once again, I know that's a staple of Metroid, but I just don't like doing that in first person, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not in love with that. It's okay and it works, but I'm just not in love with that. So I kind of like the new design. I think they just need to tweak it a little bit more, maybe for the next game. So yeah. Let's see here. Blessings to you and yours, New Year. Thank you, C. Nelly. Appreciate that. Picked up Prime 4 today. Pretty excited to get started. Nice. Like Metroid Prime purists have the same reaction to new things in Prime 4 as Vampire does. As they go to sunlight, they feel like burning new things. Yeah, and I think that's okay. I mean, people are allowed to like what they want to like, too. Like, I get that if people want to have the same thing over and over, you know? Because that's what, I mean, essentially, that's what they tried to do with Prime 1 through 3. With varying levels of things tweaked here and there, you know, with Prime 2, Light and Dark World, But I mean, you essentially do the same thing. Prime 3, different planets, but you essentially do the same thing, you know. So yeah, Prime 4 is kind of set up a little bit differently. Yeah, it's Switch 4 or Switch 2 still doomed. Never had a chance. Prime 4 is like the first one, but on steroids. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Ava Cook? Welcome. YouTube recap. Guess who's number 1? I guess I'm number 1. Monolith Soft announcement at TGA's. To be honest, I don't believe it. Did I hear the rumors? Nish, quick, can you DM me those rumors and I'll make a video on it tomorrow morning and I'll give you credit and I'll link your channel. If you DM me that information. Brotendo Shillington says Pokemon ZA is Brotendo Shillington. Yo, that name is freaking awesome, bro. Pokemon ZA is trash. It has no voice acting. Metroid Prime 4 is trash. It has too much voice acting. The duality of people. Hope your afternoon is going well. Yeah. Too much, not enough, just right. You know, there you go. Oh my gosh. Yo, shout outs. Thank you so much. Brotendo Shillington. What a great name, man. I love that name. That's like etched in PlayerEssence history. All-time greatest names. Brotendo Shill. I'm just gonna call you Brotendo Shill. But Shillington, give it a little bit of a pinky, you know, tea and crumpets touch to it. A little bit of chip chitio, you know? Shout outs. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that like button, especially for Brotendo Shillington. Brotendo Shill. That's so good. Shout outs to the JoJo boys. 2 times JoJo on that one. Last Friday, I forgot to do the JoJo Friday, so I'm not going to do that this time. Anytime we get that 10 up, we're going to hit that combo breaker, and we're going to hit that JoJo. Let's go. Honestly, the backtracking got old when replaying Prime 1 Remastered. The game should have had more shortcuts. Yeah, it gets real old. I mean, it gets super old. It got real old for me. But then again, I've already played Prime 1 multiple times, so doing it again, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, yeah, and I'm getting nauseous. Yeah, I'm straight on that one, you know? There's definitely good aspects to the backtracking and all that, but I mean, you know, I don't think I'm not in love with it. Like I said, in first person, like it's fine in a third person game, a fast paced moving third person game. Backtracking through levels is fine when you're running as fast as Samus does in Metroid Dread. But in first person, sitting there doing, you know, backtracking in first person with no, you know, I mean, in that type of way, I mean, maybe you could have made it better with some fast travel. Yeah. So. Johnny with the $5 dono. What's up, Johnny? Welcome to the stream. Shout outs. Thank you for the big 5 super sticker in the chat. It's Johnny. Yo, I appreciate you, fam. Let's go. 33. You guys know the deal. Overclocks. 33. 30-minute overclock on the board. Noah in the house.
Overclock buster.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout outs. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Stream clock extended. Next one up, 45 minutes. What's up, OJ? I'm sorry I'm late. Can't stop playing Prime 4. Hey, man, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I hit when I got to the end of Prime 1 HD and realized I was missing the artifacts. Yeah. Apparently there's some situations, some stuff maybe as well with Prime 4, but like, you know, some people say it might be more annoying. Some people say it might be less. It just depends, I guess, on how you feel about backtracking, right? Why did YouTube stop telling you how long the stream has been going? I didn't know YouTube stopped doing that. I didn't, you know what, to be honest, I haven't looked at a YouTube player in a hot minute. So I didn't know they do that. So that's weird. But I can tell you guys how long I've been going. Actually, no, I can't tell you guys. So I can't DM without the blue check, LOL. But I heard it's from on Just Restart video where he heard it from a channel called Nintendo Leaks. I think the NL vid is auto dubbed, LOL. Oh, okay, so it's kind of like a foreign situation. I might make a video on it. I'll look into it a little bit more. You said on Just Restart? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm subscribed to him. So I'll check out his vid, and I'll take a look at what they got to say, and then I'll see if I'll make a video on it. Shout outs though. Thanks for letting me know about that. So you said Game Awards, Monolith Soft reveal. I mean, if there was a time and place to reveal it, like what would get Game Awards audience interested in Switch 2, like potentially from a technical level, that would be the time to do it. So I mean, I think that, you know, Monolith Soft, you know, Bayonetta, Metroid. These are the type of franchises that Nintendo could reveal at the Game Awards if they were gonna do it. Like, what would you pick? Like, to reveal? Like, if you had to pick what to reveal, I mean, a Monolith Soft title that looks crazy would be a good place to reveal it there, you know? So yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it did, I'd be blown away. I'd be absolutely blown away if Nintendo decided to do that. Who knows? We'll see. Shaw X with the 5 months. Joan in Tears says, "What up, OJ the Juice Man? Enjoying Ghost of Yotei. We'll get Metroid Prime 4 eventually, but I take all the reviews with a grain of salt." Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff in the reviews that I feel is accurate when it comes down to it. So yeah, but there's definitely some stuff that I feel is off as well. So Justin with the 3.
I am thankful for Pokemon ZA and Prime 4 coming out close to Air Riders, so they took all the heat away and most crazy people ignored it. Lol, also you were the top YouTuber I watched on my YouTube recap.
Really? I'm surprised. No, I'm joking. Yeah, shout outs for all those that said that I'm the top YouTuber that they watch. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Honestly, that makes me so happy that it didn't matter if it was only one person, but I've actually had multiple people reach out to me and say, "Hey, you're in my top 5, or you're my top person." So I appreciate that. That really makes me happy and makes me feel like I'm doing at least something right. Not doing everything right, but I'm doing something right. You know. So thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Shout outs to Michelle. Thank you for the 99-cent dono. Let's go. Backtracking is fine, but backtracking with no easy ways to get to where you need to go, with no organic hints to give you direction, those are gaming sins. Yeah, I mean, Metroid Prime sometimes doesn't really give you anything. It just, Metroid Prime 1 just says, just find it. You know, so, I mean, there are some organic hints, like they'll give you something, but a lot of times, at least when I first played it, I felt like it was just, okay, I just gotta find where to go, which, you know, Metroid games have been like that before, where they just kind of like, you just gotta figure it out. I don't know if that works in today's day. I don't know if the Metroid Prime gameplay loop and how they do things right now, I don't know if that's gonna be something to where in today's day, people are gonna sit there and give it incredible, great reviews. I mean, it's possible. But I think partly Metroid Prime Remastered got great reviews because it was just reviewed by people that were hardcore Metroid Prime 1 fans or hardcore fans of it. I don't think a lot of the extended audience decided to go out there and pick up that game. You look at the Switch 1 and the sales of the Switch 1, then you look at Metroid Prime 1 Remastered sales, and it's not like a bunch of people were like, "Oh my god, look at the reviews. Oh my god, look at this game. Oh my god, it does everything right. I'm going to go out there and buy it." Like, from what we know, it sold about like 1.2 million or something like that, or 1.3, or like no more than 1.5 million or so. So from what the last that we know about it, I mean, we don't have any updated numbers, but it's not like people rushed out there and got that, right? So yeah, there's definitely they've got to definitely do something to mix up the formula, you know, with Metroid Prime. So yeah, but also still try to kind of stay true to the roots a bit as well. So let's see. You lost a Newswave guy from PA. Breaking the Lambo has a cost. Oh man, I lost a Newswave guy. All right, it's all good, Dave. Next time. I like your content because you actually do research rather than guess. Well, I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, I try to do my research. All those people will tell me I'm just a crazy. I think I got called toxic positivity today from some weirdo, or I'm just a crazy bootlicker fanboy or whatever. I don't research. I don't take the time to do all that. But none of these people actually want to talk to me or debate about it for the most part. And the one that did, he got absolutely demolished. The other debate that I did, it wasn't really, I'm not talking about the OmniArch. That was just discussing his stuff and how, like, the grifting stuff, and like, we're cool. But the other 2 debates that I did this year, they got absolutely obliterated. So a lot of the people saw that and didn't want to talk to me after that, you know? A lot of the people that, you know, that were talking that ish, they saw what happened when me and Prime did that debate. They saw what happened and they're like, "Oh snap, he's actually going to be logical during the debate. He's not going to be like on his live streams for entertainment. He's not going to be just talking and saying things for fun. Oh snap, I don't want to talk to him in a debate because he's going to clamp down and he's going to lock me up like he's going to lock me up like Charles Woodson in his prime." So that's what happens when it's a debate. I'm going to go into serious mode and I'm going to lock you up. I'm going to say the right things. Like I said, if I'm just having fun like I did with OmniArch, where I'm just kind of grilling them, shooting the ish, that's whatever. But like if we're talking about a debate, I'm going to research. I'm going to use all my elite ninjas. I'm going to use my ninjas. I'm going to get background information. I'm going to do thorough research and then I'm going to absolutely obliterate you. That's just really what happens. And after I did that, they were like, "Oh no, I'm good." I know grifters. I have some inside information. there were grifters, popular grifters with subscriber counts that definitely wanted to talk to me. They saw that debate that me and Prime did, and they no longer, well, not that they want to talk to me, they were thinking about it. Their fans were urging them to talk to me, and they were thinking about it based on stuff that they said. They saw that debate that me and Prime did and said, nah, all that talk went away, you know, so that's what happened. So yeah, they know that I researched. It's just much easier to call me names from their Twitter accounts or from their social media, from their YouTubes and all that, you know, just call me names and say all this type of stuff, you know. So yeah. Brian, what is your issue, bro? You're spamming. You're breaking the rules. Stop spamming the same thing over and over. 30 minutes. Yeah, Omni Arch is cool, man. I really got no issue with him. I got no issue with him overall, to be honest. The only thing that I had an issue with at first, I mean, I got no issue now. The only thing I had an issue with before is that, once again, he's sitting there talking about how terrible fans are that play Pokemon. At the same time, he's playing a mobile slop game. He's out here shilling and hyping up and talking about how much he loves a mobile Clash of Clans Chinese knockoff game. Yeah, he's telling people, oh, you're just consumers and you're this, and bashing people for liking Pokemon. It's like, wait a minute, bro. You out here shilling for this mobile slop. So that's the only thing, really. Like I said, I think he's a cool dude. I don't got a problem with him. You know, I mean, he does do like the grift thing for views on YouTube, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. I don't think he's a bad person at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's a bad person. I just found it hypocritical. That's all. See, Sony doesn't and PC doesn't have anything exciting right now. PC, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you look at the landscape right now, man, I mean, it's just the type of games that you would typically get. But what was the big holiday blockbuster game for like PC, Xbox, PlayStation? Like, what was the stuff that was super hype for people to get into this holiday from Sony or from on PC? Like, it was people just arguing about how bad or not Call of Duty is. People just talk about, oh, Battlefield, you know, people just talking about, okay, there's Arc Raiders, you know, there's just the stuff that you would expect, right? PC stuff. And then PlayStation, it was like, okay, you have Ghost of Yotei, which was good. Death Stranding came out earlier, then there was like nothing. There was like, I mean, people talked about Dispatch a little bit. Okay, it's a cool little game, you know, if you like the boys and stuff like that. But really, there wasn't anything like super exciting, like in terms of exclusive wise or stuff. It was just kind of like, okay, there's just these games, you know. And if you like them, they're good, right? If you're into Battlefield, they're good. If you're into COD, it's fine. If you're into Dispatch, or if you're into, you know, whatever else, Battlefield, or, you know, whatever came out, it's cool. Like, and the people that play PC and all that, they think the same thing about Nintendo games. Oh, whatever, these overpriced, you know, Kirby, you know, whatever, or Hyrule Warriors, that's the same old, you know. So they think the same thing with what we might like, you know. So it is what it is, right?
Hey, what's up, OJ?
What's up,
You were my
DeAndre?
most watched YouTube channel for this year. I'm in your top 0.1% of viewers. Can we get some Pokemon ZA trainer battle theme music, please?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that for the $3.62 coming in from my man, DeAndre up north, Canadian boys. Yo, maple syrup boys in the house. All right, let's talk about that though, man. Let's talk about that just a little bit. Pokemon Legends ZA. Pokemon Legends ZA. Trainer battle theme. All right. Thank you so much for the $3. 5 combos away on this beautiful JoJo Friday of a 45-minute extension. So let's go. We need Metroid Prime 2 and 3 mastered on Switch. I mean, I guess. I'll be honest, I don't think I'd replay those games. Metroid Prime 2 in particular is really annoying. So I don't know if I'd replay them. I mean, I'd probably get it, just show it off, but I don't know how far to get into either one of those games. Let's see. What I love about Nintendo Grift community is that when you bring up the Wii U, there's a common thing. They are kids from the Wii U era. The cost of games is hitting them. But you also have other fans being salty and say how you aren't worth debating. We don't want another Ackman versus Andy Pants debates. All you do is just yell, etc. Shaking my head, just excuses. Yeah, I mean, it's just really excuses. But then at the same time, like, I don't think it's completely meritless in terms of like the yelling situation or whatever. I mean, I have been rude sometimes in some of the debates just because like debates are kind of like that. I mean, you don't have to be those. So I think that's something, if I ever do another debate, I've got to kind of tone that down a little bit. But once again, I came from a different era where like being a little rude during a debate or being a little eccentric or loud or whatever the case is, it's not a big deal. You know, I come from that era. where, barbershop. But once again, you're not talking to the homies in the barbershop. You're not talking to your people that you're friends. You're talking to people that probably don't like you that much or really don't care about you. So you have to kind of think things a little bit differently. So I think that if I ever did do another debate, I try to, tone it down, which I think I have, especially from my previous ones, like a long time ago. I think it's definitely better. My last couple ones have been more just kind of like tongue-in-cheek or funny. Like my OmniArch one was just me kind of smiling and laughing the whole time. Some people took it too seriously though. When it comes to like my other debate, that I did with Nintendo Prime, obviously that one was a bit more serious and, yeah, like I said, obliterated, right? So I think it's really more about that. I don't think it's about, when it comes to like debates, it's not really, it's a waste of their time, because it wouldn't be a waste of their time, because some of these people have way less subs than me, right? So if you have way less subs than someone else and you have a popular topic that gets views, which is Switch 2, it would definitely be worth your time. If you're someone who's anti-Switch 2 and you have someone that's pro-Switch 2 or is a Nintendo fan that has more subs than you or has a good amount of subs, it's definitely worth your time to debate them if you feel that if you feel that you can expose them, or if you feel that you're better than them, or if you feel like, you know more than them, or if they're being irrational. I would jump at the opportunity for a bigger content creator that said, hey, OJ, you're stupid when it comes to Switch 2. You don't know what you're talking about. Come debate me. I'll destroy you. Dude, I would be there in a half second. I'd be there. I'd be like, name a time, name a place, name a date, name a whatever. Like, sign me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would be like. So usually when people that have less subs, or they don't have as many, or or their arguments are, they're bad. They're bad arguments overall. They know that they don't really have anything on me overall. Like, yeah, it makes more sense to try to act like, oh, well, yeah, I'm above it, or, it would be a waste of time, when that's a complete lie. Anybody that's a content creator will tell you that is a flat out lie. If people did want to have a debate with me, right, when it comes to Switch 2 stuff, and they had less subs, it's absolutely worth their time if they could actually beat me in the debate. But they know that they couldn't. So why would they debate me when they know that they're going to lose, and they know that it would look bad on them, and they know that it would kill some of their grift momentum, So that's the real reason why they won't do the debate. Now, like I said, I get it for some, that were, I could be a little bit eccentric, a little bit rude at times. I get that. Maybe you don't want to be subjected to that. But the problem is that they don't want to debate Nintendo Prime either. And Nintendo Prime is pretty much like, he's way different. So I would agree with that, but then I'd also say, even if I was a bit more, chill with the debates, they don't want to debate Prime. Prime is offered, and none of these guys have debated Prime. None of them have. They've all ran away, ran scared from him too, because once again, their money is in the grift. If you destroy the grift, the money stops, or it makes them look absolutely foolish, or it exposes it. So I'm not scared of anybody. You know what I'm saying when it comes down to it. I've already debated the people that said that they wanted to debate. We did it. They got obliterated. I don't have to do anything else with certain people. But once again, if I'm open. You can DM me. If you're a big content creator, feel free to hit me up. If you think I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about, hit me up. I'm here. I'm ready to go. If you're a smaller content creator, hit me up. Let's see. Let me take a look at your channel, and if you want to, we can do something respectful. I'm down for it as well. So yeah. Absolutely. Let's see here. Dango J, no love. On my YouTube recap message I sent you, donated multiple times, and I'm in your top 1% of viewers, YouTube Premium. Guess you only see the money posts. Dr. Smooth, what are you talking about, man? What message are you talking about? When did you do that? I don't know when you sent me a message. I'm sorry, brother. I've been responding to everybody that's told me about their YouTube stuff, my man. So I'm not trying to ignore you, my man. Let me know though. Thank you for watching my channel though. I appreciate it. MP4 looks completely outdated, and anyone who disagrees is blind as hell. So Digital Foundry's blind as hell? Is that what you're saying, Wally Tiger? And have you played the game yourself? Have you actually played it? And Digital Foundry's blind? Like the guys that do tech and no graphics and all that, they're blind? Because they said it looks absolutely incredible. So are you trying to say that you know a lot more than them, or what? What's going on? Sorry, you missed my top 5 cut. My top 5 get me canceled anyway. Start a chat war, so maybe better you are involved. Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, even if I wasn't your top 5, you don't have to mention the other people. I watched the channel today where they were ranking each tech in 2025 listed. One of the guys said that Switch 2 sold well, but people are over it. The dude knows nothing. Yeah, that's definitely not true. He definitely does not know what he's talking about. Think you missed your Metroid music request? Oh, my bad, Paul Gale. Keep up with the great... Okay, here we go. The dollar... No. Keep up with the great content. OJ, bag more caverns from Metroid Prime. Okay, I got you. Sorry, guys. I'm a little behind. My bad. Metroid Prime... Shout out to Dr. Smooth, man. My bad, bro. I didn't mean to miss you on that one, brother. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Metroid Prime, Magmore Caverns. Magmore. I was responding to Monado Mario, and he didn't donate anything. He just was on there. So yeah, I wasn't trying to only respond to the super chat post or the money post, guys. I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to look through. There's a lot of people chatting, though. My bad, though. Shout outs to Night Moon. Thank you for the tune in tier pledge, man. Welcome back. Let's go. Well, shout out to Nintendo Prime, but I don't like how months ago he also thinks all you do is just shout during debates, basically kind of throw you under the bus when it comes to debates, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't think that's the case. I think that there's definitely, like I said, there's some merit to what he's saying, but obviously it's not all just yelling. If you go back and watch the debates, I'm not yelling all the way with that. So I mean, like I said, I think we grew up kind of in different environments, different atmospheres. He has a different debating style than I do. So yeah. Also, DF said that some of the best use of HDR too. That's a powerful claim. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. I'm waiting for Wily to respond. Like, so Digital Foundry, they're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes down to it, because they did not say that. So where are we getting the information from, Wily? Where are we getting that from? I think people are not used to being talked about by black men. They get like sort of offended or in their feelings. I think there might be some racial undertones, but I mean, I'm not going to pull the race card on that one. But there's definitely some people maybe feel like, how dare you? But I don't know. I'm not going to accuse people of being racist when I don't know. But I mean, there could be that. I mean, it's a possibility. But I doubt it. But I mean, you know, listen. I mean, I'm not gonna rule it out completely. You know. Let's see here. Let's see. Even all the reviews have high praise for the graphics, regardless of the other parts of the game. Dude's capping. Yeah, I mean, I want to know, like, if, I mean, I've seen some people say that to me. I saw somebody on Twitter say that to me, and I'm like, he said, oh, it looks bad on my TV, and I was like, okay, I'm like, can you show me your save file and your Switch 2? And he hasn't responded. That was in the morning. He was going back and forth, and I said, show me your save file and your Switch 2, and he didn't feel like he has not responded yet. So a lot of people are just actually capping or just lying, or they just are angry. I know Wiley, he does not like Nintendo right now, and he's angry. He watches a lot of grift videos, so pretty much anything he can do to bring up something probably negative, he's gonna do it. So yeah. See, man, 2025, 8 out of 10, gets hate like a 3 out of 10. I think it's not necessarily that 8 out of 10 is bad, Choco. It's the fact that it's Metroid Prime and the Prime games have reviewed so high, but I think the problem is the Prime games reviewed high 20 years ago. I think if the Prime games, once again, if they were new games, not just taking the same game and remastering it, so there's a certain level that people have to rate it because it's the same game. But if you took like Metroid Prime 2 and you said, oh, that's a new game in today's day, I doubt it's going to be a 92, 93. It's probably going to be more like at this point now, it's probably going to be more like a 80, like you know, low 80s. So yeah. I like it more than DK since the boss battles are way more challenging and last longer. I wish Nintendo first-party games had difficulty settings with hard mode unlocked from the start. Some games do, like for example, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment does. Kirby Air Riders, that also has hard mode from the beginning as well. So some of them do, some of them don't. Just check YouTube recap. You're my first follow by Spawn Wave. I'm also in your top 0.1% of viewers. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Shout outs. Thank you. I thank you guys so much. If I missed your comment, guys, please put it again, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. My bad. Once again, Dr. Smooth didn't mean to miss your comment, brother. The only thing wrong with Prime 4 is the pause menu button is on the freaking is on a freaking button. The pause menu button is on a freaking button. What does that mean? Even on Metacritic reviews, our 6 out of 10 still says graphics, quality of life, and gameplay is amazing. They have a problem with the hand holding. Yeah, once again, like, I'm playing through the game. Like, I don't really think it's too big of a deal. I don't think it's too crazy with that, me personally. But, you know, I've been playing, so I get it, though. I get it on that one. Just looks outdated gameplay to me. That's exactly what happens when the dev time for a game takes longer than 10 years. Yeah, once again, you don't know what you're talking about, Wiley. I mean, just like I said, you watch too many Grifter videos. Metroid Prime 4 The game was not in development for 10 years. It started development, I don't know when it started development, but they had a Switch 1 version from Bandai Namco, and Bandai Namco, that one got canceled. So that one was canceled around 2018, and they rebooted development probably around 2018, 2019. So they've been working on this one for probably about a solid maybe 5 or 6 years of development, not 10 years. So, I mean, that means they would have started on this version in 2015, and that's just not true. There was no Metroid Prime game that we knew about in 2015. That was during the Wii U era. We got one announced in 2017 at E3, and once again, that one got canned, and then it was rebooted with Retro Studios. So there was no 10-year development period overall when it comes down to that. Now, when it comes to, you said gameplay dated. First, you said it looks dated graphically. Now you're saying gameplay dated. I mean, I'm not sure what dated gameplay means or what you mean by that, but once again, I think you're just watching videos. I'm not sure if you've played it, but I know you like PlayStation, for example, right? And there's a lot of games that you probably like that are dated in terms of gameplay designs and stuff. I think, once again, you just don't like Nintendo right now. You watch grifter videos. You're angry about certain stuff. So I think that's where this is coming from. I don't think it's actually coming from you wanting to play or you playing the games or stuff like that, because you're just saying misinformation. That's just not true. 10 years? The game hasn't been in development for 10 years. So yeah, that's weird. So yeah. Yeah, I know it's true that you gravitate towards PlayStation. I know that's very true, because you think games like Assassin's Creed, like Ghost of Yotei, is some revolutionary gameplay. You know, that's what you think graphics and Assassin's Creed style gameplay is incredible, and you'll bash other things like Metroid Prime, but you're over here thinking Ghost of Yotei is the second coming of new Mario Bros, or like it's something like it's gonna save the industry or something like that. So that's why I don't really take anything like what you're saying right now, because once again, you watch grifter videos, you just play PlayStation, so it's all good. I know you don't actually play the games that you're talking about. You just look at videos and you form your opinion based off of what they say, not actually off of playing the games. So yeah. It's pretty easy to dispute what you're saying, or just to, you know, I mean, you don't even know the timeline of the Metroid Prime game. You don't even know. You don't care. You don't actually care. You're just here to say something negative because you're angry about stuff. So yeah. Pause being tied to the minus button. Usually the minus, the plus button is easy. Oh, pause being tied to the minus button. What is plus on the? What is? I don't know what plus is on there. Let's see here. Okay, so what games do you like, Wiley? What gameplay is great and awesome? And let's see your PlayStation profile. Let's see your profile. What games are you playing? What should we be playing? Because it's dated and it's bad. So what should we be playing from an expert gamer like yourself? What should we be playing? And what's your PSN profile so we can take a look at what you're playing? How about that? Since we're stupid, I'm dumb. You know what you're talking about. It's dated. People are blind. Okay, no problem. You're smart. I'm dumb. What's your PSN profile? And what games are you playing? So we can all take a look and we can see what we should be playing, since you are so much better than everybody else here. How about that? And I'm being honest. Well, actually, no, I'm not being honest. I'm being a little bit sarcastic, obviously. But honestly, for real, what games are you playing? And what's your PSN profile so we can take a look? All right? And then you can give us some ideas of what we should be playing. How about that? Go ahead. Since you're so much better, right? I concede. I'm not as good of a gamer as you. You're smart. So let me take a step back. Tell me what I should be playing. Even though I've been playing games for 3 decades plus, 4 decades, okay. I'll take a step back. I'll listen to you. What should I be playing, homie? What should I play? Go ahead. No, right now you're playing Baldur's Gate 3. No. What current games? That game came out 2 years ago. What current games should I be playing? I don't want to play Baldur's Gate 3. That game looks very boring to me. It looks too much dice rolls, too much stuff. What games are you playing that you've been playing recently? Not one game. What games are you playing, and what's your PSN profile so we can take a look through at what you're playing and how many hours you put into the game? Baldur's Gate 3 came out 2 years ago. Or I'll just make up another thing. I already played that game. What should I be playing right now? Since I can't... Metroid Prime 4 is new. So sometimes gamers, we want to play new games. So what should I be playing right now based off of your PSN profile that everybody here should listen to you, since you know more than everybody else? So go ahead. Tell us... Give us your PSN profile and give me what games that we should be playing. Yeah, give me all the games. Are you just playing Baldur's Gate? We are in December. Baldur's Gate came out 2 years ago. So have you been playing Baldur's Gate all year? What other games are you playing? What should we be playing as a smart guy like yourself? What should we be playing? Go ahead. But we already played Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate came out years ago. So what should we be playing? And let's see your PSN profile. Let's see it. Let's take a look. The plus button has the functions in Prime 4. The standard pause button is the... so, what games? Because that's just one game. We've already played Baldur's Gate. That came out 2 years ago. So what should we be playing, man? Pretty funny to see people freaking out over tradition. Prime 4 utilizes heavily inspired, just like all Prime games. HR Giggler's art, Xenomorph. Played Expedition 33 earlier this year. I already played Expedition 33. What else? So you only played 2 games all year? That's it? That's all you played? Oh yeah, the Viola. Yeah, the Viola bike is mapped to plus. I think if you have a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, though, I think you can map the minus button to one of the back ones right here, so to make it real much easier. So I think you can do that. Yeah, Baldur's Gate is D&D. Baldur's Gate is D&D, and that is really old gameplay style. Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG with button prompt commands. That's old, dated gameplay style too. Both of those are also old and dated. So yeah, the gameplay is dated and old on both of those games. So yeah, that's not very good. Those aren't that great. Anybody who likes that, they don't know what they're talking about. Turn-based gameplay in 2025? That's old and dated. That gameplay style is old and dated, man. Turn-based gameplay? We're doing that in 1980s with Dragon Quest and with Final Fantasy. What you mean? So all you've got is 2 games for the whole year? You're not much of a gamer, man. KC with the $1.99 and says started Prime 4 and I like it. NPC hate is overblown. Yeah. Only 2 games all year? Man, don't be talking about nobody else playing games or not, fam. Just enjoy. You're more of a casual. Enjoy your games. You know, you only play 2 games all year, fam. You don't even got any good suggestions outside of games that came out 2 years ago. Baldur's Gate came out 2 years ago. Expedition, we already all played that. That's all you played all year? Come on now, man. Still haven't shown us that PSN profile, too. We still waiting for that. We still waiting for that PSN profile. But you playing old, dated games. D&D? Old. Turn-based RPGs? Old. Nah. Dated. Not very good. Yeah. You're not much of a gamer. It's okay. Huddy with the $3 dono. Says picked up. See how easy it is, guys?
Prime 4 today. Control options are so good.
Yeah.
Using Euro controls and the amount of sensitivity and button mapping are so nice. Really enjoying the first few hours. Graphics are fantastic too.
Yeah. What's up, Bead Queen? Welcome. Slapping bare cheeks. That's about the only innovative thing in the game, right? Bare cheeks. What's up, Bead Queen? Welcome to the stream. Listen, I'll say this right now before we get back to just talking. Don't be disparaging other people on what they play if all you played was 2 games all year and you're too scared to share your PSN profile. If you're too scared to share your PSN profile and all you played was two games all year, don't talk about what anybody else should be playing or what's dated. Don't talk. You've got no room, whether you're an elite ninja or not. I don't care. Don't be trying to downplay and bash what other people are playing and what people are talking about if you played 2 games all year and don't want to share your PSN profile. Let's not do that. Because you're acting like you're better than other people and you're not. That's the issue that I have. You know? You ain't better than nobody else for people wanting to play Metroid or anything like that. So share what's your PSN profile? We'll look it up right now. I've asked you what it is a few times. So what's your PSN profile? Let's take a look. I'll have one of my mods look it up for me and send me the link. So send us your PSN profile. Go ahead and we'll take a look. We'll take a look at Hardcore Gamer Wiley that is bashing other people for what they play. Whenever I heard PS5, Xbox Series fans attack Nintendo games, I always wonder what they're playing themselves. Turns out PS5 and Xbox have 0 first-party release in December. Checks out. Yeah, he's playing a game that's 2 years old. Baldur's Gate 3 came out 2 years ago, and it's old. The D&D gameplay style, old. Turn-based, old. Expedition 33, old. Gameplay style, old. Crusty. Metroid Prime 4 has more new, modern innovations in the gameplay than Expedition does or D&D. So yeah. Old. One question. What's your PSN profile? You already linked it? All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. This should be fun. My man out here, what you out here, fam, playing? What you ain't playing a damn thing? You playing Genshin Impact? Oh man, fam, this is what you say, Metroid Prime 4 dated and old, bro. What is this? What is this? Wonder Stop? Overcooked all you can eat? March 2025, Cult of the Lamb, Genshin Impact, War Thunder, Zombie Army, Stardew Valley, Battlefield 5, bro. What is this? What is this profile, fam? You ain't completing nothing. You got all these crusty games. You ain't got no completions, no trophies, complete 100%. What is this, fam? What is this? Don't talk about what anybody else is playing. This list is pathetic. This list is absolutely pathetic. You got a PS5, fam. You got to play some stuff that's better than this. Where's some sauce? Where's some Persona or some Metaphor, Refantasio? I mean, where's some Astrobot? There's no Astrobot thrown in there either. What is this? It's like a mix between a casual gamer and somebody who's confused on what to do next in life. What are all these games, fam? What are all these games? That's not you? Oh, man. Listen, I think it might be you, fam. Maybe it's somebody different. So what's the profile? Give us the profile, Wally. Switch After Dark with the $5 dono. It says backwards compatibility is goated and getting better every week. DK Bonanza is generational. Can't be an A because game key cards, but I have hopes for Yoshi. B-. Okay, yeah. We'll see about Yoshi. Thank you for the 5. Promise it's not me. So what's your profile, bruh? Give us your... I'm going to ask one more time. So give us your PSM profile, Wiley. Give us your PSM profile. So... What's your PSM profile, bro? But this person is playing Baldur's Gate 3, so that's why I thought it was you, because the last played game was Baldur's Gate 3. So I thought it was you, but a lot of people have played Baldur's Gate 3, so yeah. Drop the real one, man. Give us a link to the real one. What are you waiting for? Shout outs to Switch After Dark. Thank you for the 5. This is a fun JoJo Friday already, man. I'm having fun with Wiley over here. Wiley, don't take this too seriously, all right, fam? We just ribbing you a little bit. He's an elite, so we're not going to be too hard on you. Can't wait to see the Virtual Boy outsell the Steam Deck in 2026. Man, that's going to be bad, bruh. So, Wiley, the next tweet or the next comment should be your PSM profile. A link to your what your PSM profile name is. That should be the next tweet or the next comment that you make. Nah, you're good. You're scared. You're scared. You said you're not scared. You're definitely scared. You don't want to do it. All right, we'll stop there. Point proven. You know what that reminds me of? This is what you do back in the day in the hood. Even sometimes what you do now, what you do is like if you're playing basketball with somebody, you get into a little bit of an altercation with them. And one thing that you do to really kind of rattle them is that if you're doing an inbound play, pump fake the ball at them. And if they flinch, you're in their head. Wiley, I hit you with that one. You flinched. You flinched, my boy. You flinched. Shout outs, Josh Z 2491 with the 499 says, I don't know if I told you, but I was playing Prime 4, got the first distress call and died to the mob. Turns out that I walked right past the save first time. Oh man, that's crazy. I didn't know you actually did that. How about this, Wiley? How about this? Shout outs to Josh. Thank you for the 5. Enjoy the Metroid Prime 5 music. How about this, Wiley? Go look up your PSN profile, X out your name, and give us your PSN profile. Do it that way. Just X out your name where it says your name at the top. Just use a whatever and just X it out. And then therefore we won't be able to see your name. Let's see here. So yeah. He ain't no Kobe, won't flinch, yeah. The $90 annual subscription on the next playground. I flinched when I should have scurried. Hit you with the flinch. He more than flinched. Oh yeah, I think it was kind of like a full-on like Scooby-Doo. Like, you know, like when what was it? Shaggy would jump into Scooby-Doo's arms, or Scooby would jump into Shaggy's arms. It was kind of like that. No, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all fun and games. Wiley, you're good, man. You're good. But anyway, back to Metroid Prime 4. Nah, man, like if you watch the Digital Foundry tech breakdown of the game, watch what they say about the game and the gameplay. I think you might change your mind. You know, like I said, I think you're watching grifter content. So yeah, it's definitely, graphics wise, it's definitely not dated. It definitely looks great overall. And remember, it's a Switch 1 game too, so there's also limitations with Switch 1. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And like I said, the people that do graphics, they broke it down and they told us why they think it looks good. It's not just, I don't think it looks good and that's that. It's, okay, here's why it looks good. Here's the reasons why, and we're going to show you, right? So yeah, I think I trust that opinion and my own eyes over random people on Twitter who have no interest in playing the game, you know, that play 2 games a year and what they have to say. No offense, Wally, I'm just saying. Let's see here. Did someone say Genshin Impact? I'm playing Donkey on a donkey phone. LOL. Overcooked on Switch. Nice. Let's see here. Stop playing MP5 and go play Genshin Impact. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. That's not gonna happen for me. Shout outs to Genshin Impact, people that play it, but yeah, I'm good. Let's see. Metroid Prime 4 is the only game I love using mouse controls. I haven't used mouse controls too much, but yeah, I have used them, and it's okay. Just the Joy-Con's a little too thin for me, but yeah, it works for sure, you know. 4K 60 on 1080p 120. I mean, hard to complain. Well, it's easy to complain when you don't want to play the game. When you haven't played it, you don't want to try it out, and it's just easier to talk. It's easier to do that. And when you like I said, when you indulge on grifter videos, it's easy to just be upset and be angry all the time instead of actually being constructive. But yeah, that whole notion of being dated is wild. Digital Foundry literally called it technically flawless. Once again, it's not about the truth. It's about your emotion. I don't like something. I'm angry at something, so therefore I'm going to find things to make me upset at this thing instead of seeking the truth. You don't want to seek the truth. You want to seek anger to confirm a confirmation bias, to confirm what you're already thinking. You don't want to seek the truth, you know? So that's really what's happening right now with some people. But yeah, usually what people do is that they use Digital Foundry to back up their anger, but they can't use Digital Foundry this time because Digital Foundry said it was incredible, so they just say it. Now it's just, well, I can't use actual facts, so let me just say it and see how far that gets me, you know? Oh man, so usually Digital Foundry, it's like, oh, with Pokemon, obviously you don't even need Digital Foundry with Pokemon, but they'll use Digital Foundry with that, they'll use Digital Foundry with lots of stuff. But in the Switch 2 era, they haven't been using Digital Foundry that much.
I looked up my PSN forum when I had a PlayStation 5, and it was sad. Last 5 games I played was Horizon, Teardown, Hogwarts Legacy, Rift Apart, and Spider-Man 2. It was booty cheeks, no wonder I sold it.
I mean, those aren't terrible games though, Justin. Like, those are, I mean, listen, it's better than this, whatever profile we're looking at right now. Because I have no idea what Wanderstop is with some bald looking, Humpty Dumpty looking dude. So, I mean, like, it's better than that. It's better than that for sure. Let's see here. Did you see Smash JT's recent video? He called you a Nintendo fanboy and was talking ish. Yeah, that's okay. I've said some things about Smash, so if he said that about me, that's also fine too. I have no problem. I have no problem with Smash calling me that. But yeah, open invitation to Smash JT if he ever wants to debate or talk. He always has an open invitation for us to debate or talk whatever he wants to talk about Nintendo or whatever the case is. We used to work together, so yeah, I have no problem with him calling that. And I've called him Grifter, and I've said my stuff too as well. We follow each other on Twitter, and we've we've talked. He's liked some of my stuff, so I don't take it as any type of disrespect or anything like that. Like, you know, Smash knows me. He knows me, and he knows good and well that that I'm cool with him, and there's no problem. So yeah, if he's talking smack or whatever, that's okay. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, Smash is a huge grifter, you know, huge psycho grifter at this point when it comes to you know, weird politics, you know, crazy type stuff. So yeah, so I don't know why he's worried about me, but that's okay too. You know, that's okay too as well. I mean, I did see the debate too between him and Colin Moriarty, and he got absolutely obliterated, which is crazy, like, which is wild. But I mean, yeah, no hate towards Smash, you know, no hate towards him, but yeah, I mean, calling me a Nintendo fanboy and talking ish, I mean, what does that mean? Like, anything that he wants to talk about, we can talk straight up right here, so it's all good. You can get that message to him, you can tell him that, or you can send him this clip, I don't care, either way. But yeah, no hate towards him. Like I said, we used to work together. I don't dislike Smash. I think he's done a good job of building his channel, you know, doing what he does. He grifts a lot, but that's okay too, you know. You know, people do what they got to do. But yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, he's calling me a fanboy. Okay, a million people call me that. You got a debate, you want to talk about something, let's do it. Set it up. We'll find out who's the fanboy and who's not. Let's see, one annoying thing is so many AAA games are so unoptimized nowadays. You think that you'd see more appreciation for Prime 4's presentation? Yeah. I mean, I think that you have people that are appreciating Prime's 4 presentation, you know? So yeah, I think you're seeing that. Both him and Colin sounded stupid in that debate. Yeah, that's why it's funny. They both sounded weird, and yet he still somehow got destroyed. He still somehow got absolutely obliterated, and they both sounded bad. That's the crazy thing about that debate, you know? Like, but listen, I've lost debates too. You don't win them all. But that one, you know, that one he got cooked. He got cooked in that debate. And you know, it is what it is. You know? Maybe it's just me being a fanboy. I don't know. Oh, man. No, I'm not saying send hate to Smash JT. I'm not saying that at all. Don't send hate to him. I just said it. Hey, if he wants to talk about anything, if he did actually, I'm not 100% sure he even did say anything because I don't be watching like that. But if he did, I'm here. You know, like he wants to debate or talk anything about games or who's a fanboy or name, like we can do that right here, or we can do that on his channel. I don't care. We'll get it going. It's no big deal for me. Very impressed with the graphics of MP4. The gameplay and story has been good so far. I'm playing the game with having each Joy-Con in each hand. I like that a lot. Style, yeah, that style's okay too. That style's okay as well. You know. Let's see. It's not an agenda to complain about annoying characters. Did I say there was an agenda? I don't recall me saying that there's an agenda. Or are you talking to somebody else? You can complain about whatever you want to complain about, and other people can say that I disagree with that too. That's also fine as well. No biggie. Shout outs to Justin. If you want some music, let me know. Even Smash JT lost. His fans still think that he won. Did they? I think he ran a poll, and the poll said that, nah, he lost. If I'm not correct. I think Colin Moriarty showed a poll, I think on Smash's own channel, that showed that the people there said that he lost. I don't know if that was Colin's fans rushing over there to vote on the poll. But yeah, I mean, like, there ain't really nothing I don't know, there ain't really nothing to talk about. Like, calling people fanboy and talking, like, for what? That doesn't really mean anything to me, especially coming from a grip, like the grip, like, weirdo, like, you know, anti-woke grift community. Like, y'all sitting here talking about how attractive girls look in video games and wasting time on woke, everything's woke. It's stupid. Like, just like absolutely midlife crisis type of nonsense that's going on right there. Like, it's weird. Just go play your games or whatever the case is. Y'all worried about stuff that doesn't matter. But I guess when you can grift and you can make money off of it, whatever. But, you know, I don't care. As you can tell by my voice and by what I'm saying, who cares? So what? Like I said, I'm not sure if he 100% did say it or not, but either way, it don't really matter. Like I said, I follow him, he follows me. If he wants to talk, we can talk. Let's see here. YouTube recap put you up first place on my most watched 2025. Nice, let's go, man. I appreciate it. A thumbnail among other Nintendo fanboys like beat 'em ups and Nintendo Prime. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, good for. I mean, like, you got to make money somehow, so you got to make money somehow. And there's a lot of money in the bashing Nintendo content creator, bashing people, or saying, like, there's a lot of money in that sphere when you're not talking about like woke stuff over and over. So yeah, there's a lot of money in that. So I hope his video did well. I hope whatever he did or whatever he was saying or whatever the case was, I hope it went fine. But yeah, it don't really matter to me. Like, it's not relevant or important. The desert area flat out sucks, and there's awful collectible mechanic plus music locked behind amiibo. You can play whatever music you want. I can play whatever music I want on my phone when I'm right in there. To be honest, I have the amiibo that unlocks the music. But I mean, the problem with the music unlock, which I don't like it being locked behind amiibo, but the problem is that, like, it doesn't even really matter. The music that they only have like a few tracks, and it ends up just not really being important at all. You can just, the ambient sounds and just like the shooting and the driving just kind of feel a little bit better anyway, to me at least. I turned it off. I just turned off the music because it ain't really that big of a deal, to be honest. But I wish it wasn't locked behind an amiibo, but that to me isn't really a big deal. The bigger deal is like locking like actual modes or features behind amiibo, which we've seen a little bit, but Metroid Samus Returns, that locks hyper mode behind amiibo. That's really a problem. But music, you can play whatever music. I mean, you got Nintendo Music on your phone. You can play whatever music you want whenever you drive around if you feel like it. You don't got to be locked into those 3 tracks that they have on there. So if you really want to play music, just play whatever you want. So that's not a big deal to me. In terms of the desert area, yeah, I'm playing through the desert area. I don't know, I kind of vibe with it. You know, like, instead of having to just walk from some area to another area, like backtracking across the whole Metroid Prime 1, or going from light and dark world, backtracking, or going from planet to planet in Metroid Prime 3, you just kind of drive across an area and get to where it was or whatever. So I know people don't like it, or some people say that it's not very good, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if just walking across a whole area with doors, like in Metroid Prime 1, where you would walk across areas and then doors would just open. You'd have to constantly go through these areas that you've already been through a million times, really slowly, kind of, because there's no like high speed boots or anything like that in Metroid Prime, and it's in first person, so you have to move at a slow rate. I don't know. Like I said, I don't find it like the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's the best thing in the world either. I can understand the criticism, but I don't think it's like I don't think it's like terrible or the worst thing ever. It's kind of fun just, you know, zooming around on a bike every now and then, you know? I don't know if you can unlock the music for free. I know I've said that before, but there's been conflicting reports on that. Like I said, I've unlocked the music with the amiibo. I wish it was just in there, but that's not really a big deal with the game. You know, like, you can play whatever music you want. If you're playing on your PC, just play whatever track you want whenever you ride on the bike, and you'll have more options too. That's the funny thing. There's not many options with the music. I think there's only 3, and then when you beat the game, maybe you get like 2 more. I think that's what it said when I scanned the amiibo. But yeah, I don't even really turn it on. I just leave it off. There ain't no point. It doesn't really matter. It's not integral to the game. But yeah, I feel you on that one though. All the reviewers played it with no music, so I guess we got to be one with the reviewers, right? Unless they somehow had the amiibo beforehand, which I don't think they did. When did the Samus amiibo come out? Was that launch day, or could you get it beforehand? But either way, yeah, the reviewers didn't have it, so yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I've heard some people say that you get it after 100% scanning. I've heard some people say that you don't get it after 100% scanning. So I don't really know. So yeah. Shout out to Drew Arco though. Thank you for watching, man. Though I appreciate it. If you made a thumbnail of Nintendo haters, that crap would look like Mardi Gras. Just saying. Yeah. Music not locked by an amiibo. You can unlock it by playing the game. I think that, once again, I'm not sure. I think we have to, there's, like I said, there's been conflicting reports, you know? I love the bike at MP4. It's so fluid. I love how you summon it out of nowhere. Yeah, it just kind of just comes up behind you, like, no matter what. It's just like, boom, there's the bike. But like I said, I get it. I get people who don't like it as well, you know? Like, I completely get that, too. But once again, like, I don't know if it's, like, that bad. Like, once again, it's just, there's different areas, like 5 or whatever different areas, and there's like little things that you can do out there, like little puzzles that you can do, or you can go there, get certain like charge shots or some stuff like that. You can find little things, areas to upgrades, and then you go to your next area, and that's that, you know? Like, it doesn't, I don't know, I didn't see it as like some type of terrible you know, terrible thing that was the worst thing ever, considering how fast it is. You know, it's super fast. So if it was slow and lethargic and hard to control and all that, then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is terrible. But it's really not. And I don't know, I kind of find it better than walking through areas, backtracking through like Prime 1, where you have to just like, you know, Talon 5 or whatever, or wherever that, you got to go to that hub area, then you got to go to every single, and just walk through all these areas, and then doors are locked, and you got to open all the doors and all that. So for me, I don't know, it just feels a bit smoother doing the backtracking or going from one area to another with a fast bike instead of walking the whole time, you know, or going from light and dark world and having to deal with the stupid light and dark enemies back to back to back and over. Like, I don't know, I think I'll take this. But yeah, definitely, they definitely need to have some refinements to it, to the formula, for sure. No, but I mean, like, I get it, like, with the whole amiibo thing. Like, I completely get that. Like, definitely don't want to see, like, music and certain things like that locked behind amiibo. Like, I'm not in love with that. I don't like that at all. It's just not that big of a deal because I can play whatever music I want, you know? Like, if I really want to listen to music when I'm riding on a bike, I can pull up my cell phone, pull up anything. Alexa, play music, play this, play Metroid music, play whatever. So that's not like a big deal. Definitely don't like to see it, but like, yeah, for me, the bigger deal would be like this amiibo right here. Oh, actually, no, not that amiibo. I think I'm gonna make a video on chaotic amiibos. The long history of chaotic amiibos. This right here is way more problematic than Metroid or than Metroid Prime 4, because this one locks hyper mode. Challenge yourself with the fusion mode after beating the game. So this one locks a whole mode where you get the suit and like a harder difficulty. It locks it behind this amiibo. It locks it behind, I think it's the I don't know if it's the Samus or if it's this one. It locks it behind it. So this is significantly worse. I think Nintendo did this one. I have this one, Metroid Dread, and this one is pretty inconsequential. They basically do nothing. I mean, replenishes some missiles. This one restores an energy tank once a day, a bonus energy tank, a bonus missile plus tank. I mean, this basically does absolutely nothing at all. So this is terrible. This is useless. And this is kind of like in between. It's not really a mode. It's not as bad as hyper mode, but it's not as useless as a missile tank, you know? So definitely gotta find a, you know, trying to find the balance. I also have, I got Viola as well. And this one, what does this one do? I think this one changes the color of the bike or something. I don't know. I like it so much. I don't know if I want to open it because it looks so cool. I have all of the big 2-pack Metroids. I have them all sealed, you know? So I don't know if I want to open this one because I like having all of them sealed. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to open it. But maybe later down the line, if there's like a discount, I'll buy another one or something, and maybe I'll open that one. But yeah, and then the Dread one as well. So yeah, the chaotic world of Metroid amiibo for sure. I opened some of them. I opened this Samus one. So this is a Metroid Prime 4. The quality of this, like with the paint and all that, is actually really nice in the details. It looks really good. This is probably one of the better looking amiibos, and she's like on like a little like a rock palette, so it actually looks really nice. So yeah, I do open some of them. I don't open those ones. I don't open though. If it's like a double pack, like a twin pack, I don't open any of my twin packs. If it's a twin pack amiibo, I'm not opening it. That's staying sealed for forever, you know. So yeah. November 6th, both Samus amiibo. Solix was the game's launch as the endgame scan. Oh, okay, November 6th. Okay, so reviewers did have access to it then. The backtracking through the tight maze-like maps is the essence of Metroidvania. I know not all Metroid games are Vanias, but I guess that's my preference. Yeah, and I agree with you, Sonic Slim. That is the essence of a lot of Metroid games. That is, but in first person and doing that type of backtracking with massive areas in today's day in first person, I mean, like, I don't know how enjoyable that is. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I think that might become an issue for a lot of gamers today. If you split it up a little bit and then say, hey, this area is where you can do some backtracking, and this area is where you can do some backtracking, and then you can explore a little bit in that type of way. I think that makes a little bit more consumable for today's day. I just don't know if I want to play a massive first-person Metroid game in a huge labyrinth and have to walk on foot to many. I mean, maybe you can put like warp points, but then does that also, you know, remove the discovery of having to go through the levels? So it's a hard balance trying to see what modern gamers are going to want to play or do. I don't think people are going to want to backtrack a massive labyrinth in first person at a snail's pace, like, because Samus, she walks really slow, or she doesn't really run. I mean, she runs, but she doesn't really, like, you move really slow to avoid motion sickness in the game, right? So I don't know if people want to do that in today's day. I mean, I think some do for sure. Metroid Prime purists probably would love to do that, where you just sit there and you just backtrack in a massive first-person labyrinth. I just don't know. I don't know if I want to do that, you know, just me personally. I like the gameplay in Metroid Prime. I like the shooting. I like the upgrades. I like that, but I'm not sure if I want to do that in a first person. Now, in a third-person game, absolutely. Like, I don't mind that. I don't mind, because you can run faster. You can move faster. You have, in the, like, Metroid Dread, for example, you have high-speed boots. You have, you know, all sorts of tools to get you faster. You have screw attack. You have all these things that you can do. In a first-person Metroid game, you can do it, but you can't do it like you do it in a third-person game. Like, because Samus moves so much faster in, like, Metroid Dread, for example, right, than Metroid Prime. So I think they tried to balance that with having the bike, so you can quickly get fast, way faster than how you did it before, at least, you know? So yeah, like I said, it's a difficult balance. Like, maybe they didn't nail the landing, Sonic Slim. Maybe they didn't nail the landing when it comes down to that, but I hope that they refine the formula and find a happy medium between not making it a slog to back through, or to backtrack and go through, you know, in one massive labyrinth in first person, but then also to give people enough of that to where it doesn't feel like it's linear, right, or something like that. You know, for me, there's just enough. Like, I get a certain ability, or I get something, and like, oh, I remember that I have to go back to Fury Green, and there's these platforms now that I can jump on. Okay, cool. That's enough for me. I don't need massive ways, but I mean, apparently there's that in the game too, like certain stuff that you have to do towards the end. Like, there's some stuff, but yeah, I don't think I need that like in one massive labyrinth where it's like, oh, I gotta go back and forth. Like, I tried that in Metroid Prime Remastered, and honestly, guys, like, it's great. It's a great game, but I got very tired of that pretty quickly. So yeah. So I get it, though. Like, I get it for people that do want that, though. Because, I mean, listen, if you're big into Metroid Prime 1 and you love that about Metroid Prime 1, yeah, of course, you'd want to see that again in Metroid Prime 4, right? Of course you'd want to see it again. Why wouldn't you? Or if you love Metroid Prime 2, why wouldn't you want to see that again? So I understand for the people that want to see that, you know? I get it. Personally, I prefer them to stop Prime formula and go with Other M combat formula. Ooh, Other M did not have a great reception. So I don't think that they're going to stop doing the Prime formula and just go with Metroid Other M. I think Metroid Prime 4 maybe would have been that before it got rebooted, but I'm not sure. I can't say for sure or not. What do you think Retro could have included in the Viola amiibo for it to be worth 30 but not appear like a paywall? Nothing. There's nothing. People don't want amiibo to include anything anything worthwhile in them. People just don't want them to include anything worthwhile. If people want to buy it, they'll buy it, but they don't want, there's nothing that they can include in amiibo that'll make them, oh wow, that's worth it. No, like, people just don't want that. What they think is worth it is simply because you have a physical object, not because it does anything in the games. Now, yes, there are some people who complain that they don't do enough, but I think that's a very small amount of people that actually complain that the amiibos don't do enough. Yes, there are people that do, but I think that that's a small amount. So, like, the Metroid Dread amiibo, I think those were $30 too, if I'm not correct, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong on that. I don't know what the Metroid Dread amiibo prices were for the double pack, but those don't do anything really, and people didn't complain. So yeah, I think it just needs to be like that, where they just don't do anything really worthwhile. MP4 is so fun. I just got the bike. Yeah, it's fun, man. Let's see here. Came back from 6-day work week. Nothing changing at work. Just relaxing out. Hey, shout out, Style Boys. Let's go. It's a collector. It's a collector's with the bonus. Yeah. Truth or rumor that Mercury Steam are doing Switch 2 remakes of Samus Returns. There's no rumor that I know of about that. That they're doing a remake of Samus Returns or anything. Like, there's nothing that I've heard. I know that they're working on it. They're probably working on a 2D Metroid game. I've heard rumors about that, but I don't know if it's Samus Returns remake. I don't know if it's that. I hope it's just a new game, like, you know. But it'd be great to have Samus Returns on the Switch or Switch 2. But I mean, do we need Samus Returns on the Switch or Switch 2? I mean, not really. But I mean, would it be nice? Sure. You know. The hate for other M combat came from a restriction of using the Wii Remote, which hindered the combat, but on paper the combat is why Metroid became more action-rated with Samus Returns and Dread. I agree there. Affirmative on that one. I do think that the combat in Metroid Other M is very cool, and it's good when if you can grapple with the controls, or if you have no problem with the controls, or if you can mod it to work with a Wii U Pro controller like some people have done. Then I think the controls are great. Like, if you have, like, mods or whatever, you can mod it to work with, like, a Wii U Pro controller, or you can mod it to work with like, a regular controller emulation. It's actually fantastic that way. But having to play where, picture this was a Wii Remote, and having to play using this tiny little D-pad on a Wii Remote with no other ways of playing, and then having to go like this to shoot missiles, then go like this. I mean, it seemed innovative and fun at the time, but it actually just ends up being really bad to do. Justin with the 3.
Will future Prime games ever take place in the future, past Dread and the other 2D games?
I'm not so sure, because Prime's kind of like going back before it, so I'm not sure if they will. Maybe they will at some point, but I think they'll still just stick to Prime just so they can, it's easier with the story-wise. I think they'll stick to 2D games being present, or you know, more present or future, and they'll stick to the Prime games being the past, because it makes it easier to do it that way. So yeah. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for another $3 dono. Yo, Justin, hitting a little groove here. Thank you so much. 61. Oh, you guys know what time that is, right? Y'all know what time it is then. Don't you know? I think you know. Noah and Mio flying through the skies once again. Yo, big love. 1 hour extension. Appreciate that. Samus and Emmy Pack was 30. I got mine on clearance a few years for 14. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, so once again, like, there's not really anything that they can do, because as soon as they add something kind of cool, people will say that you're locking content behind amiibo. So there's not really anything that they could do for people to, because, like, this is music. It's, like, not even that big. Like I said, you can play music on whatever you want to play. Like, if you're in the desert area for a long time, or if you feel like, oh man, I'm in this area and I gotta listen to nothing, you can just throw on whatever you want. And if you're playing like on a monitor, just throw on whatever you want, right? If your PC is connected and you're playing on a monitor, just throw on whatever you want. It doesn't matter. If you're playing on your couch, take your cell phone, throw on, get a little Alexa Dot, do whatever you need to do. I mean, everything is a music player these days. So for me, that's not a big deal, because once again, I get upset when it's like modes locked behind amiibo, like hyper mode or certain things like that. I'm like, whoa, wait, hold up. Or like even like a lot of content, like, oh man, you can get like this exclusive weapon packs and all this type of stuff. Like if there's like a lot of it locked behind that, then I'm like, okay, wait, hold up, what's going on there? And like you can't unlock it in the game or whatever. So yeah. So for me, it's like not that big of a deal, but I get it for others though. Don't need to remake Samus Returns. Just update the 3DS port and change a few controls. Yeah, like if they did that, that'd be fine too. You know, like I wouldn't have an issue. I wouldn't have an issue with that too if they just decided to do that. I thought music can be earned in the game after you beat it. That's what some people have said, but I don't know if that's the case. But if you're not gonna play the game again, then it doesn't matter, right? Like there should be a way to unlock it quicker. Samus, I already read that, my bad. The music sounds distorted, like you're playing as a bad guy instead of feeling heroic to the honest. The gun and the suit are different from the original one. Oh, okay, yeah. I want to be Metroid Prime 4 is the light interactions with NPCs. I mean, the explorers, I think, made more had some more imagination with it, but it feels rushed at times. And the music, okay, I can throw you on that one. I don't know. I haven't encountered too many of the other ones yet. I just encountered obviously Miles McKenzie, and I thought it was kind of funny. But I get why some people don't like it though, for sure. Timothy Lee, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that, Timothy. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Shout outs to everybody subscribing though, man. I appreciate y'all. This year was actually kind of trash for new subs, I'll be honest. But we're gonna go hard next year, man. We're gonna go in next year. It's gonna be awesome next year. We're definitely going to have a lot of people coming through. But yeah, lately it's been better. We've been doing a lot better lately. So yeah, shout outs, guys. I appreciate that. Getting a lot of new subs. Hundreds in these past few days here. So thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate that. Let's go. I don't understand people are making big deal of music being locked behind amiibos. It's making a mountain out of a molehill. I mean, I get that because it's music. Like, you don't want them to start locking stuff behind amiibos, like music, like things like in-game like that. So I get that. Because like that can be like a slippery slope. So I understand it for sure. But like I said, it's only during like when you're on the bike. When you're off the bike, the music turns off. So it's not like it's the whole time out there. If you want to play anything, you can play something on your phone or whatever. I get it though, but like, yeah, it'd be better if it just included it. But yeah, it's just not something that I care too much about because it's not like a mode. For me, if it's like actual content, like tangible content or like a mode, that's when I'm kind of like more like, oh wait, hold up, you know, not like a little, like, oh, the little music or oh, you get like a little sound effect or something like that. Like that, I don't care about that. But yeah, I can understand why people don't like it though. And like I said, it's a slippery slope. So definitely, I like that there's a little bit of pushback from people out there because then I don't think they'll do it again because there's a lot of pushback with hyper mode being locked behind amiibo, and then when Dread came out, there was no hyper mode locked behind an amiibo. You know, all the actual extra modes were free, so they were all free updates. So it's definitely good to push back a little bit because then with Dread, you know, we got free updates for Dread. You know, whereas on Samus Returns it was locked behind an amiibo, but we got free hard modes and free stuff for Dread. So that was good. The pushback on that one was good. So I'm glad that there's a little bit of pushback here because I think that okay. We're not going to do that. They'll probably just do for the next time. They'll just do it to where it's just like Metroid Dread, where the amiibos do nothing, you know? So yeah. What if JRPG music was locked behind amiibos? Would suck? No. Well, yeah. I mean, if it was like all the music, but if it was like a certain specific thing that was meant to be ambient and like, hey, you could have like a little thing that unlocks there, then I'm like, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure if I like that. Once again. So I'm not disagreeing with you, Only Moves. Like I don't like it. But once again, it's like on the bike, right? It's not like it's all the music. Like if it's in other areas, then obviously that's a problem too. And like I said, it's a slippery slope. You know what slippery slope means? You know what slippery slope means? That doesn't mean that it's okay. When someone says something's a slippery slope, that means it's wait a minute, hold up, this could go wrong. So like I hope you understand. Maybe my vocabulary is not locking in with you, my man. But when I say slippery slope, that means not a good thing. It does not mean a good thing or that it's okay. Because you can walk on a slope, but if it's slippery and you slip, then it's a problem. The slope's there, you can walk, but it's a problem. At any minute, things can go wrong. So you definitely don't want to see that. So yeah. Metroid Prime 4 at 60 FPS looks better than 120 FPS on my 65-inch Samsung Neo QLED because the game motion plus the settings it has, the only difference I can see is between 2 is 4K quality and 60 FPS. Yeah, I need to do more comparisons, but yeah, like it's hard for me to tell the difference, to be honest. I just kind of feel like the mouse mode in 120 feels a bit more fluid for sure. I tried 120 FPS mode in Prime 4, and I mean, I have the music, so it's like, whatever. I wanted the music because I thought it looked cool. Honestly, why is it even a big deal? Nintendo music exists, game modes locked behind, bigger deal. Yeah, that's the bigger deal. But once again, it's a slippery slope. So, yeah. 3 hour, yeah, the biggest thing I played was 3 hours so far. I didn't mind the NPC, but I would like variations with more speech interactions. Most part, graphics and gameplay, yeah. There should be some generic music. Amiibo unlocks different music, 100% unlocks. There should be sound effects though. Still sound effects though. Yeah, there's still sound effects. Yeah. Like if there's like some like ambient like music kind of playing, or not ambient music, but there's like just like the sounds of like you breaking the crystals, the sounds of like Samus's motorcycle, the sounds of like the enemies and things like that. Like you going across the sand, blah blah blah, whatever stuff. Like if there's anything that's like out there, like, you know, those sounds. So yeah. Hey OJ, Miles called me on the radio and told me to go somewhere else because I was exploring, not getting the next objective, and I ignored and went there and wanted. No problem here. Okay, there you go. Let's see, game modes and amiibos is crazy. Yeah, game modes and amiibo is crazy. I don't like that at all. So that was hyper mode in, from what I understand, that's the only time. Actually, no. Well, no, I think you can unlock. What was it? Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia had some pretty aggressive stuff locked behind amiibo. I think like the Alm and Celica amiibo, like they unlocked like extra dungeons or something. But I think you can buy that, or you can get, I don't remember, because it was like, that game came out like in 2017, so I don't remember everything. But yeah, there was definitely some things like with that game too. I would understand the hate for amiibo if they did third-person mode locked behind it. Okay, that would be crazy. That would be like where I'd be like, okay, hold up, we gotta have a whole video on that one. Third-person mode, that should never, like a mode, like perspective, like how you play. No, that's crazy. Shovel Knight amiibo originally only had co-op in the Switch and Wii U with the amiibo. Really? Oh yeah, that's crazy too. Let's see here. What's up, CBH? Welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome. Shout outs, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We're going further beyond. Big love to Justin getting us once again to that 61. We got that extension about 39 away from the, what's it called? From the overclock. 75 streak. So I appreciate you guys. But hit that like button. If you have not hit that like button, hit that like button. Let them know that we are streaming right now. Appreciate you guys. Dane with the hey, what's up, Cherry Ball? Dane with the $1 and says, I'm finished up MP1 right now, and the plan is to watch I finished the video game Metroid retrospective before starting MP4. All I see online right now is MP4 grift or spoilers, so I'm glad there's this stream to chill and have on in the background while playing. Grift or spoilers, yeah. My video got downvoted like crazy because I said that I think people just saw the title and they got angry. But if you watch the video, it just talks about my experience with the game and like the good and the bad. But I think people got mad at that. As I said, the Metroid Prime 4 blows away previous Metroid Prime games. But the but was the other stuff that I said in there. But I don't think they actually watched all the way through because I felt that it was logical. But yeah, it does blow away the previous Metroid Prime 4 games when it comes to the controls and the shooting mechanics and all that. Like, it does blow it away. It's like way better. That's what I meant, blows it away. Now, of course, overall, I gotta wait and see. I gotta wait to that. But it does blow it away in that aspect. So I think there were definitely people that have been watching grift content and they got upset with that video today because I got 74 dislikes. So 86.7% like the dislike for just an impressions video. So yeah. Thank you for the $1 dono though. Shout outs to Dane, my boy. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay. Epic Globster says I tried the 120 FPS mode in Prime 4, my first 120 FPS experience, and I literally can't tell the difference between 60 FPS. Like maybe it's a little faster. Listen, I'll say this: the only time that you can tell the difference is if you slow down the speed. Sometimes, now some people can actually see the difference, but like it's the law of diminishing returns. If you go from the lower you go to the higher you go within a certain time or within a certain limit, it's noticeable. But once you get to a certain limit, it might not be noticeable. So I've showed you guys this before, but I'll show you it again. So the law of diminishing returns is factual. It's something that you can't escape. It's something that you know, that's a real thing, and it's also like that with you know, with what's it called, with video games. The law of diminishing returns, it's also like that with video games. So I'll show you guys a picture of what one of my friends showed me a long time ago. Somebody from the channel. Give me 1 second. So If I can find the picture. I don't know if I can find the picture. Ah, this is a terrible time to not have that picture. Trying to find it for you guys. I don't think I can find it though. Ah, here we go. I found it. So, this is the law of diminishing returns with polygons. There we go. So, this is the law of diminishing returns with polygons. So, it's like this with anything though. So, with graphics, right? People talk about graphics these days. This is factual. This is not factual. This is factual. So, 60 triangles. Diminishing returns. 15 years ago, even doubling the amount of triangles resulted in a much better mesh. Now, multiplying the amount by 10 hardly does. So this is 60 triangles. So if you're making like a video game, this is 600 triangles. Okay, that's a pretty big difference, right? 60 to 600. That's a pretty big difference. 10 times, right? 6,000 triangles. Okay, that's a pretty big difference too. This to me is like, that's a pretty big difference. But then if you times it again by 10, there's a difference here, but it's nowhere near as pronounced as the times 10. If you look at times 10 triangles here, times 10 triangles here, that creates a bigger difference in what you perceive than the times 10 here. Now, if you keep going by times 10, there might be a gap from 6,000 to 600,000, but it's going to get less and less noticeable as you go along, the line here, you know? So I think that's kind of the thing that we're dealing with too as well when it comes to like frame rate. Yeah, you go from 1 frame to 2, or 1 frame to 5 frames, 5 frames to 10 frames, 10 frames to 20 frames, 20 frames to 40 frames, 40 frames to 80 frames. Then it starts getting, or, you know, 30 frames to 60 frames. Okay, you can notice the 30 frames. So this would be like, the 30 frames would be like this. The 60 frames would be like this. But then like the 120 would be like this. Yeah, it's better, but it's not anywhere near as noticeable from the 30 frames to the 60 frames. So 30 to 60 is way more noticeable than 60 to 120. So I think that's kind of like what's happening with you two here, you know? You can still notice it though. If you look really hard, you can see, okay, yeah, that's way better here. That's way better here. That's way better here. Like there's all sorts of things that's better, but it's just not as noticeable as going from here to here, or obviously here to here. So yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Shout out to Noah Meal once again. The example is perfectly disingenuous though. It mentions doubling the details, but each stage is actually 10 times. The mission returns is the last 2 stages. No, it's 10 times for each one. So 660 to 600, that's 10 times, right? Don't they double it by 10 each time, right? Now multiplying by the amount of 10, so 50. Okay, oh, doubling. Okay, no, I see what you're saying, doubling. Okay, so yeah, if you double it from here, this is obviously not double though, because 60 to 120, that's not a double, that's more than double, right? And then you go from 600 to 6,000, that's obviously well more than double, right? That's well more than double. But then you go from here to 10,000, multiplying by 10. Hardly does it. So I don't think they're trying to be disingenuous, if anything. Because now you're going by 10, you're actually multiplying it by more, right? And they're saying, well, look, you multiplied it by 10 this time, and look at what happened. So I don't see how it's being disingenuous. Let's see here, but let me know. Which is why developers these days should focus on character sweats, skin textures, and hair and other crap that claim a huge jump, and really they didn't do with the character models. Okay. I think this, what I'm trying to say, guys, even if you feel like that it's being disingenuous, let me ask you guys a question. And honestly, like here, how impressive was the leap from the PS1 to the PS2 compared to the, I don't know, PS3 to the PS4, or the PS4 to the PS5? Like, sure, it's a nice leap. It's a nice jump. You know, but it's not as impressive maybe as going from, you know, the N64 to the GameCube. I think there are people that might feel that that jump is more impressive than going from the PS4 to the PS5 or from the PS3 to the PS4, you know? So there's also that too. No, it's way more noticeable. You have to make sure that you're switching your TV also set to 120 frames per second mode to actually see the difference. 120 FPS and Metroid made 60 look unplayable. I've played it. I have a monitor that runs at 120 FPS and I know that it's running at 120 FPS. I have an LG OLED that I know that's been fine-tuned by HD TV Test, that the Asian dude. Like, I followed his steps exactly to get everything the way that it is on my LG OLED CX. And honestly, dude, I can't see it. You also have 120 FPS on the Switch screen by itself. So I've done it on the screen by itself. Not even... So let's just remove the TVs, right? Because the Switch 2 screen does do actual real 120 FPS. And I've played Metroid Prime 4 Portable in 60 and in 120. And, you know, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like, you know, whatever, you know, I don't see it like night and day. Like, oh my gosh, I can't tell. Oh my God, I can't, you know, it's just such a huge difference. I don't see that. Like, I feel like the difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS is much bigger than the difference between 60 FPS and 120 FPS. I feel like there's a bigger gap in terms of what I can feel in the gameplay than you know, 30 to 60 is a bigger gap. It feels more different than 60 to 120, in my opinion. PS2 to PS3, massive cause on the online infrastructure. PS1 to PS2 jump was crazy. Ratchet and Clank was fire. PS1 to PS2 jump was crazy because they skipped 64 bits. So that was a huge leap because they had no 64-bit system. Sony went straight from, you know, they stopped using bits, but, you know, you can say 128, you can say, well, more than that. I mean, obviously it was better than a Dreamcast, but whatever, right? So they skipped the 64 era. They skipped the 64-bit system and went straight to above that, to above a Dreamcast, right? So in that respect, the jump was incredible because it's like, wait a minute, you just skipped a whole bit war. You just skipped the whole 64 Jaguar, all that stuff. You know, not real 64, but you just skipped the N64 graphics and went straight to above a Dreamcast, right? So it felt like a really, like you were taking, like you were leaping up like two systems. Like, boom, you passed the 64 and you passed the Dreamcast in one go, right? Like, so that felt massive. That felt like a massive jump to me. Like when I first saw Tekken, I could not believe Tekken on the PS2. Tekken on the PS1 looked incredible. I couldn't believe Tekken on the PS1. I was like, whoa. That looked like Tekken 3. I was like, whoa, these graphics look crazy. But then when I saw Tekken, like Tekken Tag, I was like, bro, what is this? This is wild. Like when I saw Final Fantasy X, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. 120 FPS just feels smooth and responsive more than visual difference for you. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to feel it visually, or sorry, you're going to feel it in the controls more than the visuals. But yeah, I noticed the 120 FPS, like when I use mouse mode, it feels more fluid there. So yeah, there's that, but only when I use mouse mode. Saw comparison of Switch 2 and Switch 1 performance and quality, and it's impressive that even runs on Switch 1 60 FPS, but the Switch 2 bump is really noticeable. The Switch 2 bump is noticeable from what I've seen as well. Yeah, this and like the loading times are like, oh my gosh, Samus never stops running. Switch when you go from what, like when you load into like Fairy Green or you load into other places, Samus just keeps running for like, she runs like 10 miles, bro. She running a marathon. No, it ain't that bad, but it's not. Switch 2 loads a lot faster. I mean, if you're playing it on your system memory, it's the fastest. If you're playing it on an SD card, bit slower, but still good. If you're playing it on a cartridge like me, it's the slowest. It takes a bit more time. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Psycho Pie? Hey, yo, players, says anything past 120 FPS begins to feel the same for you know, I don't know if I've ever played anything past 120 FPS. I think I've maybe played like an indie game on my PC at like 140 something frames per second, but I don't know. I bought a PS2 in February 2000 just to play Tekken Tag Tournament. Gave it my all. Still play Tekken competitively. Nice, Daniel. Let's go. Go and look at the Resident Evil 4 GameCube versus the same on PS2, which took 18 months to port. Night and day. Supposedly the same gen. It definitely looks different. The GameCube version looks better. But I mean, night and day. I don't know if it's like night and day. It's definitely noticeable. Yes, it's noticeable. But that's because they were porting the GameCube version, right? If they built the game specifically for the PS2 first and foremost, could they have made it look better? I mean, maybe. But the GameCube was more powerful, slightly. So yeah, there's that. But did you know that Resident Evil 4 could have been an Xbox exclusive? Microsoft just said the wrong thing to what's the guy's name? Mikami? Yeah, Mikami. They didn't really have a plan that he felt comfortable with for the game. So you know, they basically botched the interview with him. They botched the meeting that they had. But that could have been a Xbox exclusive. Resident Evil 4, and then it would have looked nuts on there because the Xbox was the most powerful, so it probably would have looked better, and probably would have ran up maybe at 720p or something like that, or maybe on the original Xbox. Maybe some games did run at that. I'm not sure if they would have, but yeah, typical Mike. Yeah, they botched the interview. They botched the interview with Mikami, so he was on the train to Nintendo. It was too late. I think 120 FPS should be the norm in 2025 for all games. Yeah, that's not going to happen because 120 FPS is really intensive on CPU and, of course, GPU, depending on what you're rendering on screen. So that's not realistic for every game to be running at 120 FPS. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. A better comparison would be the Star Wars Bounty Hunter GameCube versus PS2. Devs competed with themselves technically. I need to see that. I haven't seen that one. Didn't know that about the Xbox though. That's why you need to watch Did You Know Gaming. Learn about that type of stuff. Yo, Young Moolah, thank you for the subscription. Young Moolah 87, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. Welcome. Let's go. They did the same thing with GT on the PS2. Did they mess up GT? Oh, man, they messed up GT on the PS2 as well. They also messed up Genshin Impact. They could have had Genshin Impact as a exclusive. They could have had it first, and they messed that one up too. That's why Microsoft bought, instead of trying to broker deals, they just said, we're not going to broker anything. We're just going to buy things instead. We keep on getting smixed and bodied on these deals. Let's just buy what we want instead now. I think that's what they felt, you know? Yeah, oh man, that's a big three, man. That's like Wade, Bosch, and LeBron. Genshin Impact, GTA, and Resident Evil 4. Oh my gosh, that's definitely a big three right there. Let's see here. 120 FPS is really hard to manage due to frame pacing. Loads of games get bad reps for that. Twice the amount of frames, twice the data to pace. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be too intensive. It'd be too difficult for every game to be running at 120 FPS, especially the graphically intense games. I just don't see that being a thing, you know, unless they actually lower the level of the graphics to where, you know, it looks like pretty much like a PS4 game or every single time, then yeah, sure, you could probably get 120 FPS, no problem. But if you're going for detailed physics, detailed mechanics, things like that, that's going to be tough to get it running at 120 F with huge environments and worlds and a lot of AI in games and stuff. It's just, it's like I said, the frame pacing is going to be crazy. Like, you probably won't even get it at 120 FPS the whole time. It'd probably be really wonky. So yeah. Didn't Microsoft try to buy Nintendo and they laughed at them? Microsoft did try to buy Nintendo, but Nintendo did laugh, but Nintendo actually took it seriously. There's some more backstory to that. So Nintendo actually took it seriously, but the president at the time, Mr. Yamauchi, he felt that Microsoft doesn't understand gaming enough for it to be a thing. Like, so that's the reason why ultimately they decided against it. But they thought about it. Like, yeah, they laughed, but they actually thought about it. They actually thought about it a little bit. But Mr. Yamauchi was not convinced that Microsoft could really, you know, take gaming forward with what they felt gaming needed to be, like with the games, you know. So what Microsoft wanted Nintendo to operate independently, but cancel the, cancel the GameCube? Was it the GameCube? Or was it the next system, the Wii? I think it was the GameCube. Cancel the GameCube and just make everything for the Xbox. Just make all your games for the Xbox. You can still operate how you operate, but just make everything for the Xbox instead. You know? I mean, Nintendo thought about it. They thought about it. And I think they would have allowed them to make a handheld too. I think they actually would have allowed them to still do GBA and still do stuff like that. But I don't know if all those details, so don't quote me on that. I don't know if all those details were like 100%, but I think they might have still let them do handhelds and operate somewhat independently, but just make all your console games for Xbox, you know? But I'm not sure. It might have been not that. Obviously, if they own you, then you'll do whatever they tell you to do, you know? Unless it's written into the contract, so. Let's see, we got to get past 30 FPS fidelity mode. Being the PSI before we dream about 120 being the standard, yeah, that's true. I think we're getting a little bit closer. The PS5 Pro, like the quality modes and that do like 60 FPS, and then like the performance mode, those are like unlocked frame rates. A lot of them can, you know, do, you know, like Ghostly Yotei can run like at like 70, 80 frames or something like that, or, you know, unlocked frame rate. So we're getting kind of close. I think PS6 maybe will be the system to where, yeah, you will see a lot of games, you know, standard 120 FPS in those games, or like 120 FPS performance modes, or, you know, or 120 FPS basic modes, and then like performance mode, you know, maybe you'll be above that 200 FPS or something like that, right? So I think PS6 probably is the, you know, where we might see stuff like that. But to be honest, I'm okay with PS5 Pro. I'm okay with 60 FPS. Like, I don't see as big of a difference as some people here. So I'm not a PC gamer though, so yeah. I played Doom the Dark Ages at 144 FPS on ultra wide. It's so good. Nice, nice. I saw the news that Netflix bought Warner Bros. I think it's great news in my opinion. It's not, but I mean, if you want to think that it is, that's also fine too. Nintendo execs had a Sony partnership flashback and laughed. Yeah, they're like, you know what, we're good. But it's good that they did it because we need more competition. You know, like, competition is always good. So like, the less systems that we have when it comes to, like, we don't need too many systems out there. Like, we don't want it to where it's like the olden days where like there was like a million systems on the market, but I think we need at least 3 or 4, you know, systems on the market that are like trying to actually, you know, that are actually trying to do some things. So yeah. So yeah, it is what it is on that one. Wait, so Microsoft would have said the right thing, it would have been over? The right thing for what? Resident Evil 4? Yes. If they would have said the right thing for Resident Evil 4, yes. When it comes to Nintendo, like, if Microsoft, the problem with Microsoft, if Microsoft actually made a system in the, like, let's just say a 64-bit era, so they established themselves sooner with console gaming and had a great track record leading into the original Xbox. So let's just say there was an original Xbox, right? That came out in like the mid 90s. So like right around the N64 time. And Microsoft did really well. They pushed Sony, they pushed Nintendo, they made great games, they had great IPs, they were ran efficiently. Let's just say that happened, right? And they did that till the original Xbox, the OG Xbox. So let's just say the Xbox 2, okay? Which is what the OG Xbox is, but for hypothetically speaking, the Xbox 2 in 2001, like with the GameCube and like in that generation. If that went well, or if maybe they started a bit earlier, maybe they started in the PS1 era, or they started in like the Super Nintendo era, and Nintendo saw that they were efficient and consistent and pushed Sony and pushed them to do better and pushed Sega, I think they might have said yes. I think Mr. Yamauchi might have said, okay, you guys have been established. You guys are offering, you know, $30 billion, which in 2000 was a lot of money. It's a lot of money now, but like, that's an insane amount of money, you know, with inflation. I think that Nintendo might have considered it a lot more if Microsoft established themselves and, like I said, had a track record of, you know, highly critical games coming out regularly, a variety of different types of games, shooting, you know, racing, platforming, all these different things, right? They can sell to families, they can sell to core gamers, they can sell to tweeners, they can sell to like everybody. If they established themselves and, like I said, pushed Sony, let's just say they actually sold well, maybe that original, our hypothetical Xbox sold like 50 million or something like that, like a respectable amount. I think Nintendo would have thought about it a little bit harder, right? Like it would have got maybe closer, or they would have done it. But yeah, Mr. Yamauchi just wasn't convinced that Microsoft was a stable enough company and was, you know, would be good for them going forward, you know? So yeah. No, Netflix quality control is really poor and they cancel stuff really easily. RIP I think it meant HBO Max, or is it HBP? I don't know what it's called. I really like Other M. Do you think Nintendo will port it to Switch 2? Probably not, Yamoto. I mean, WB Leader was not sure if they do Hogwarts Legacy 2 after the success and cancel the DLC for it. What the F, yeah? Miles McKenzie is complete and utter garbage. He's a disgrace to mankind and completely ruins the experience. Why did they add such an abomination? Psych, he's actually all right. Miles McKenzie, we all got a little bit of Miles McKenzie in us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got a little bit of the Miles McKenzie gene that can activate at any time. You know what I'm saying? At any time it can activate. So yeah. Oh man, good stuff. Shout outs, party man. Miles McKenzie for Smash. That would be the ultimate troll move by Sakurai if he puts Miles McKenzie in Smash. He should totally do it. That would light the internet on fire if Miles McKenzie was in Smash, dude. Light the internet on fire. So yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do. DC comic games. It'll probably be disaster. Yeah, maybe. It was already disaster beforehand. I always loved Warner Bros. And they were never offered to me. I'm in the minority. I disagree. Don't feel the same way like the majority of people do. Popular mindset. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Netflix buys them, and if it turns out to be good, then you're right, Sean. So we'll see. Let's see here. No, we do not have him in. Okay. Hold up. Pause. Oh man, I like Miles. Dior, are you like Miles McKenzie? Are you like we can all be a little bit like Miles McKenzie, right? We can all be a little bit like Miles McKenzie. I'll be a little bit like him. So yeah. If you guys have not hit that like button, hit that like button. Let them know that we are streaming. Shout outs to everybody here. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. How many likes are we actually at, though? I'm telling you guys to hit the like button, but I don't even know how many likes we're at. So, all right, here we go. We are at 107. Okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, keep on hitting that like button, guys. Let's go. Actually, we still need to do the Switch 1 versus Switch 2 stuff. Okay. We are how many? We're 2 hours in, and I think we're just starting to do like the analysis of Switch 1 versus Switch 2. Okay. So, Switch 1 versus Switch 2. The analysis is this. I think that if you break it down, there has to be a lot of caveats. Or there has to be, like, pretty much Switch 1 had 2 all-time bangers. I think that's really what's in the Switch 1 favor, is the novelty of, oh, wow, this is a little bit different. And the fact that there's 2 all-time bangers, plus a critical, or more like a cult hit darling, with Xenoblade 2, and a really awkward game with Mario plus Rabbids, plus solid multiplayer experiences with ARMS and Splatoon 2. I think that's what's good about the Switch 1 launch. The rollout of games. That's the first 9 months versus the first 6 months. But the problem, and like I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll have it in my video tomorrow. I think the biggest problem is the third-party support is the biggest issue when it comes to the rollout. Now, if you're talking about first-party only, okay, but like, are you including ports? Are you not including ports? It gets a little sticky, right? It gets a little hairy because like, okay, you're including ports. Okay, well, do you include Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch? People include it. So if you include Mario Kart 8 or if you include Pokken Tournament, you've got to kind of include the updates for the Switch 2, because those have bigger differences in the graphical features and the updates than the actual re-releases for full price. So if you look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Wii U to the Switch, yes, they changed, like they updated, there was a lot of gameplay and things changes, but graphically speaking, you know, and obviously content-wise, they upgraded it, but graphically speaking, it's pretty similar. Same thing with Pokken Tournament, a little bit better. But the updates from Switch 1 to Switch 2 graphics-wise for free, the free updates are massive, you know? The free updates look so much better in some respects. Plus, they also have games that actually have, like, real updates to them, like doubling of the frame rate and things like that. So, I think that's the biggest difference that I kind of see here. It's like, if the Switch 1 was to win, you'd have to make the caveat of, okay, we can't count Tears of the Kingdom, we can't count Breath of the Wild, we can't count, you know, Echoes of Wisdom, we can't count Super Mario Odyssey, like, we can't count all the stuff that was upgraded. Okay, that's fine. So if you remove that, and like, let's just say games that released within the time period, not like within the time period, and games that released third-party wise. If you do that, then the Switch 2 just absolutely blows it out of the water, because the consistent releases have been better overall. Now, the peaks or the highs are higher on the Nintendo Switch 1 with Breath of the Wild and with Super Mario Odyssey. And of course, you have Xenoblade Chronicles. But the problem is that the third-party support and the supporting cast isn't as good. I think Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is definitely better than ARMS. Splatoon, obviously, it's a little bit different. It's a multiplayer game compared to a single player. But obviously, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is better than Fire Emblem Warriors. Definitely better than that game. Donkey Kong Bonanza is not as good, in my opinion, as Breath of the Wild. But I think I kind of like it maybe a bit more than Mario Odyssey. I definitely spent more time in Donkey Kong Bonanza and found it to be significantly better to play from a quality of life perspective. There's definitely things in Mario Odyssey that's better, but there's a lot of things in Donkey Kong Bonanza that's better than Mario Odyssey. So for me, the big gap would be, obviously, the next big game that we were supposed to have would have been, you know, you can say Mario Kart World, or you can say Metroid Prime 4. Those aren't on the level of Breath of the Wild. But like I said, once you get past Breath of the Wild, and if Mario Odyssey and Donkey Kong Bonanza cancel each other out, I do think that the games that released make up for it when it comes to first and third party wise. Between Age of Imprisonment, between like even like a console exclusive like Hades 2, Age of Imprisonment getting stuff like Silk Song, which the Switch 1 didn't get anything anywhere near the quality of Silk Song in the first year for the most part, or the first 9 months. You look at Trails in the Sky, you look at stuff like Street Fighter 6, you look at Assassin's Creed, which it's whatever on there, but the Switch didn't get anything like that. You look at Star Wars Outlaws. You just look at, like I said, actually getting some of the casual stuff, which is fine. That, you know, that's not the biggest deal, but getting some of the casual stuff like Madden and all that. Getting stuff like Fantasy Life. You know, Rune Factory, the AA RPGs, the AA JRPGs were great. You know, Ease, stuff like that, right? So for me, I think that's where the Switch 2 just kind of blows the Switch 1 out of the water. Like, it's not even close. Octopath Traveler just came out. You know, we had to wait, you know, more than a year for Octopath Traveler to come out on Switch 1. Octopath Traveler 0 does seem better, though, than Octopath Traveler 1, so there's also that. So yeah. Switch 2 overall wins because backwards compatibility and third party. Yeah, I mean, if you count, like I said, you have to make caveats like, oh, no backwards compatibility, or oh, no upgraded games. Like, you got to make all these caveats for Switch 1 to win, in my opinion, you know? Got to go back to 100% Bonanza. Switch 2 release schedule has been brutal. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I don't know. Celeste is very close to Silk Song. Celeste, that came out Did that come out in the first year? Was that 2017 for Celeste? Or was that 2018 for Celeste? I don't remember. But yeah, Celeste is really good. I don't know if that was 2017 or 2018. If that was 2017, my bad. So that's definitely a nice one for Switch 1. No, that was 2018. That was not in the first year. That was, well, it was in the first year, but not in the first calendar year. It was that came out in January 25th, 2018, if I'm correct. Was that the launch date for the game? Let me know if I'm wrong on that, though. But yeah, it says January 25th, 2018 for Celeste. Silksong came out within the first couple of months. Silksong came out, I think Silksong came out in September. So, yeah. Did Splatoon come out in the first 6 months of the Switch 1? It did. Splatoon came out, I think, June or July. I think July or something. So it came out within March, April, May, June, July. I think it came out within 4 months. Currently, it's Switch 1, library alone, Switch 2, 2026 will dethrone Switch 1. Well, no, we're not talking about the total library, CBH. We're talking about the first calendar year, not total library. Obviously, the total library goes to Switch 1. Even after next year, the total library goes, like, if you're counting individual release, Switch 1 just has way more games. I'm talking first calendar year. So we can, I mean, you have to, like, if you say first 6 months, it's almost not fair for Switch 1, because then you cut out Mario Odyssey. Because March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Mario Odyssey came out at the very end of October. You know, so that would be the 7th month, heading into the 8th month. So you have to make a lot of caveats for Switch 1. Because if you actually did it comparison month for month, the first 6 months versus the first 6 months, it's not a comparison, because then Mario Odyssey's not in there. Then it's definitely a wash, you know? Those first 10 months on Switch were amazing. Gotta say, those Switch 2's first 6 months have been excellent as well. Yeah. Please tell me there's a Xenoblade Chronicles X update for Switch 2 coming. There should be one coming, but we'll see if we'll see when it happens. Wii U to Switch ports with just 720p, 1080p graphically. That all? Yeah, exactly. Sometimes content updates too, like DLC included or content updates. But yeah, pretty much 720p to 1080p. That was it. Really no changes. Whereas the Switch 2 is actually getting games that significantly improved, you know. Switch 2 has a better launch period. Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 were on Wii U too, so not exclusive. Okay. So you're counting it. If it's on the previous system, it doesn't count. So we can't count Metroid Prime 4. We can't count Pokemon Legends ZA. That's why I'm not in love with doing that. I think that maybe if you just count games that released in the time window of when the system was out. So if it was a dual launch, like Pokemon Legends ZA, dual launch, Metroid Prime 4, dual launch, you know? So Breath of the Wild, dual launch, Mario Kart 8, that was not a dual launch. So maybe if you don't want to count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but there's so many things added to that game. So it's like I said, it's weird. You have to kind of make all sorts of rules and caveats, you know, in order for it to even work. So yeah. So yeah. DK Bonanza stomps Odyssey. Not close, really. Odyssey is good, but DK Bonanza has the best controls in a platformer ever. Best controls ever. It controls really well. I will say that. That's true. I think back compat and free upgrades shouldn't count, but Wii U greater than Switch ports and Switch 2 edition should count. Okay, so Wii U to Switch ports should count. Switch 2 edition should count. Oh, okay. But upgrades don't count. You said... But the thing about it is that the upgrades have more enhancements to them from a visual perspective than the Wii U to Switch ports. Like, Echoes of Wisdom is a significantly improved experience. The difference between Echoes of Wisdom on Switch 1 compared to Switch 2 is a bigger gap between the difference of Pokken Tournament on the Wii U to the Switch, or Breath of the Wild on the Wii U to the Switch. You see what I'm saying? There is a bigger gap in terms of the quality or what it does. So I see what you're saying. Like, okay, it's an individual release. It came out. It's not just like a free upgrade. But I think, like I said, I think one of the biggest issues is that, like, it's a bigger release in terms, or it's a bigger upgrade,
if you don't count any of the games that released on Switch 2, then I think Switch 1 wins. Wow.
I've seen people on Twitter do that.
Well, you can't count Nintendo Switch 2 editions. You can't count anything that released after my birthday. You can't count people who don't have a Switch 2 yet. You can't, and if you remove all that, the only game is Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I think if you don't count all the games, then Switch 1 wins. Yeah, that's it. Shout out to Justin. Thank you for the 3, man. Yeah, that's why. No, this debate is very difficult, but I'm gonna attempt to do it. I'm going to attempt to do it in my video tomorrow, probably. So I'm gonna try. I just met DK Bonanza and MK World were exclusive. Oh no, we're not making Tim. We're not making fun of you. That wasn't towards you. That wasn't towards you. That was talking about Justin just making fun of like how like all the different caveats that we have to put that myself and people were putting. So yeah. No, that wasn't directed towards you. Shout out, Justin. Thank you for another $3 dono, man. I appreciate that. 64 on the board. We are what? 36 combos away. Appreciate that, guys. Let's go. IJN gave it a B on their scorecard and said the Switch 1 was better. They're looking at it through the rose-colored glasses, in my opinion. The amount of quality first and third-party games on Switch 2 is better. Yeah, they're looking at it. I didn't watch the video, but they're looking at it. They're just looking at Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. That's really, when they say Switch 1 is better, they just mean Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. That's all they mean. That's literally all they mean, is Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey came out. That's what they mean. Because if you look at it for the actual game releases, there's no way that you can say, oh yeah, the game releases Switch 1 was better. Let's take a look. Not that Metacritic is the be-all end-all, because trust me, it's not. But I just want to give you guys a little snapshot of what we're talking about here when it comes to games. So I think they're just going off of first-party games and critically acclaimed review scores. That's what they're going off of. I'm not going off of that. I'm just going off of like the games. Like, what were the games that people thought were the best games? Like everybody, right? Not just reviewers, but everybody thought were the best games. So best games. We're gonna go to best games of all time, and then we're gonna go to Nintendo Switch 1, and then we're gonna lock down the year. I'm gonna have this in my video tomorrow too. We're gonna lock down the year, and give me a second here, guys. And one more. All right, there we go. So we're going to lock down the year. And this is what we got, essentially. This is what we got. Marathon stream is going to be next week. Next Saturday, probably. So what we got here, if you lock down the year to the 2017, what came out on Switch 1, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at 2 top-tier beasts, right? Obviously, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that is a retread of a game that already came out. So, I mean, whether you want to count this game or not, if you count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you're going to have to count Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. You're going to have to count those games as well. So, you can pick your poison whether you want to count this game or not. I can count it. I have no problem counting it. But remember, if you count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you're going to have to count Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because those did add features. It added way better frame rate, way better resolution, you know, and all that good stuff, right? So, whatever. But look at this, guys. I mean, you've got Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, in terms of, you know, new games that released in that time period. And then the best games are just indie titles. Steam World, which it's like Steam World Heist, Shovel Knight, Steam World Dig, Enter the Gungeon, Stardew Valley, Cave Story. I mean, these are great indie games. Don't get me wrong. Axiom Verge, Rocket League, Sonic Mania, Thumper, The Binding of Isaac, Neural Voider. I mean, you got to go all the way down to right here. Mario plus Rabbids. That was great. That was really good. But, I mean, like, look at this, guys. The best games were just indie titles in that first year, really. The best games were just indie titles. The third-party games were atrocious. There were like no major games. The biggest third-party game was a game that used Mario. The biggest like AAA or whatever you want to call it, non-indie game was Mario. Mario, that's a third-party game. Ubisoft publishes this. They just licensed Mario, but it's a third-party game. So that's the biggest one. I mean, look at, I mean, we got Skyrim. Skyrim as well at the end of the year, November, which is out of the first 6 months of the years in comparison to Switch 2, but whatever. We can count it, right? So, and then you got Splatoon, which is good. That came out July 21st. You got Splatoon. You got Snipper Clips, which is also good, but that's like a smaller indie type of game. You got Rayman Legends, that's a port, so I mean, you can count it or not if you want to. You got more Shovel Knight, you know, Shovel Knight DLC. But then you go to page 2, this is when it gets a little bit more interesting. You got Xenoblade, which was great. You got to give it to Xenoblade. First party game, good stuff in December. But I mean, you're looking at Gunvolt, Disgaea. I mean, you're looking at a lot of stuff that's just like, okay, hold up here, you know? Now, if you go to Switch 2, we're going to go to Switch 2, and we're going to go to, obviously there's only 1 year available, right? So we're going to move it all the way to 2025. So if we move it to 2025, right? So we're counting Legend of Zelda, right? We're counting Legend of Zelda because we counted the ports or whatever, the releases on Switch 1. So you got Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Then you've got an actual new game. You got Hades. This 95 is higher than anything that we saw third party wise. You got Hades. You got Silksong. You got Donkey Kong Bonanza. Right there. You got Trails in the Sky. You got Split Fiction. Good third party support. This is a bigger third party game than any of the games that we saw in the first year on Switch 1 outside of maybe Skyrim. But Skyrim was a 360 game. This is a PS5 game. We got Street Fighter. That's a newer, good, big third party game, AAA. You got Atelier, which is great. You've got Final Fantasy Tactics, which is awesome. You've got Street Fighter. We already said Street Fighter, but no, yeah, it's the second version of Street. Obviously, Mario Kart World, first party. You got some indie. Deltarune is great. You got Dragon Quest. You got Yakuza. You've got Cyberpunk. You've got Tony Hawk. You've got Bravely Default. You've got Kirby. You got Hogwarts Legacy. You've got Rune Factory. You've got more Yakuza. You've got like just way more variety, way better big games with the indie games. You've got Assassin's Creed. You've got Star Wars. You've got Metroid Prime. You still got Disgaea. Switch 1 had Disgaea. This Disgaea game is actually, I think, rated a little bit better. I'm not sure. You've got Octopath. You've got Kirby Air Riders. You still got a fast racing game. You got that Kinetsugami game from Capcom. You've got Hyrule Warriors. You've got Persona. You've got Sonic. You got more Sonic. You got Pokemon Legends ZA. You got Mortal Kombat. You got an actual good version of WWE compared to that trash version Switch 1 got. You actually got casual games like Madden and stuff like that. You've got Hitman. You've got PS2 classics. There's just way more support. You've got remakes, re-releases, remasters, big games, AAA games. You've got more stuff. Games that actually launched, like, you know, on the current gen, like Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws, like actual current gen big third-party games, you know? Switch 1 did not have current gen big third-party games because the only game that it had was Doom 2016. That was, at the time, a current gen third-party game. There was one big current gen third-party game in the first year of this, or the first calendar year of the Switch 1, and that was Doom 2016. Outside of that, there was nothing else. Skyrim is a 360 game that came out 6 years prior, you know? So, Switch 1 wins when it comes to the whole depth, like the variety. I'll keep it a buck. Trails in the Sky matches Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It just does. The quality is significantly better too. Playing the game, now story-wise, you might think differently. I love Xeno. It's great, but it was rough. Xeno 2 was rough, which we all talked about. I talked about back then. The frame rate was rough. So Trails in the Sky is a nice Xeno, you know, like, okay, Xenoblade, that did come out in you know, in the first calendar year, but we got Trails in the Sky, which is, I would say, just pretty much as good. So, and like I said, there is no Split Fiction. There is no Street Fighter 6 on Switch 1 in the first 6 months. They don't have AA RPGs like this, like Trails in the Sky. Atelier Trilogy, you know, Dragon Quest, Yakuza 0, Bravely Default, Grand Bazaar. Like, they don't, like, Hogwarts is a AAA game. They didn't have that type of stuff in the first year. Yakuza, like, they just did it. Rune Factory. So from the indie level, AA level, and AAA level, Switch 2 beats out Switch 1 by a country mile. So I don't see, like I said, unless you want to just farm like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, which I get it. Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are better from an individual release than most of these games, right? Then you can say, like, it's very top heavy. You've got 2 superstars and a lot of role players. Whereas with the Switch 1, if we're counting, you know, Mario Kart 8, then obviously we're going to count Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But even if you don't count those, you still got Hades, Silk Song, which from an indie level is probably better than anything that released on the Switch 1 in that time frame. Plus you got Donkey Kong Bonanza, plus you got Split Fiction, plus you got Street Fighter, plus you got Final Fantasy Tactics, plus you got Mario Kart, plus you got Dragon Quest, plus you've got Cyberpunk, plus you've got Yakuza, plus you've got Kirby. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just too much. There's just too much, you know? Shoutouts to Justin with another 3.
Don't forget Switch 1 had Street Fighter 2 again for some reason.
Yeah, we had Street Fighter 2 again. Yeah, we did get that crusty Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. We did get that. We did get that one. Thank you, Justin, for the 3. I appreciate it. And then also shoutouts to Tim McDonald. Thank you for the tune-in tier pledge. Let's go. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the tune-in tier pledge. Let's go. 69. Very nice. Appreciate that, guys. All right, let me get into what you guys have to say here. Let's see. After I got my Switch in May 2017, I played it and went for a long stretch without turning it on to play it until I bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in February 2018, and I found your channel. Oh, you didn't buy Mario Odyssey? Switch 2 has all the Switch 1 games by default plus its own library, so it wins by default. Yeah, but Sonic Slim, people are going off of individual release. Like, I mean, yeah, so it's like people aren't going off of, like, oh, there's the backwards compatibility, right? If you do that, then it's not fair. Then obviously Switch 1 gets absolutely obliterated by Switch 2. So they're going off of, okay, impact and release. And I think it's really just comes down to, if people pick Switch 1, it comes down to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. That's what it comes down to. Prime 4 is on Switch. Yes, Prime 4 is on Switch, but we're talking about in the first 6 months of the system's launch, in the first calendar year. The first calendar year, they announced Metroid Prime 4, but it didn't release on the Switch 1 in the first calendar year. So yeah. Let's see here. 1-2 Switch greater than Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. I disagree. I think Welcome Tour is probably, they're both bad, but I think Welcome Tour is better than 1-2 Switch. ARMS is better than Dragon Drive. I do agree with that. Can't count Breath of the Wild. You can count Breath of the Wild because we were counting Pokken Tournament and we're counting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So if you count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and if you count Pokken Tournament, then you've got to count Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah. Shout outs to Tim though. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Zelda Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Mario Odyssey, ARMS, Splatoon, 1-2 Switch. That's not great. Yeah, you counted Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You counted Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So if you're counting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you have to count Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Otherwise, that's hypocritical, right? Because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all it is it's a Wii U port with all the content in there. That's all it is. Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild is a Switch port, but actually the quality is significantly better than the gap between, like, if you play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Wii U and you play it on the Switch, like, it's gonna look very much the same. Obviously, they play a bit differently, but it's gonna look the same. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are significantly improved on the Switch 2. A bigger improvement than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in terms of visually. So if you're counting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you've got to count Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2. It'd be unfair if you did that. Because literally, that's all it is. It's just a Wii U port, you know? So yeah. Like, the Switch 1 doesn't have a... I personally think that Pokemon Legends ZA and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, I like those more than ARMS and Splatoon. I do like Splatoon 2 a lot, though. But I kind of like those a bit more. Kirby Air Riders, I think... I haven't played it as much as I want to, but I think I like it more than ARMS, maybe, but I have to play it more. I'm not sure. But I don't know if I like it more than ARMS. We'll see. I think I might. I think I like the content. The single player mode is good, so I think I like it more than ARMS and Splatoon 2. Because I do like the single player content in Kirby so far. Metroid Prime 4, I'm still playing through it, but I think it's just as good, if not better, than a lot of the games that came out on Switch 1. So yeah, right now, like I said, if you compare it blow for blow, I think Switch 2 wins. And like I said, if you're only using first party games, which I think that's what some of you guys are doing, that's a way to handicap it to where Switch 1 wins. Now, if you talk about a lineup, you need to talk about everything in the lineup. You need to talk about first and third party games, in my opinion. You need to have both when you talk about first year, because if the Switch 2 didn't have any third party games, people would be complaining that there's no third party games, like they were with the Switch 1. So I think third party games are important. They're not the most important for Nintendo. When it comes to selling a system, Nintendo has to have the first party games on point. But I think that the third party games are very important. They're very, very important. Like for me, Trails in the Sky has been incredible. Hades 2 has been good. Rune Factory was incredible. So yeah, I need me some third party games as well, you know? I need me my Japanese AA games. Like I need me my Trails in the Sky. I need me my, my Ease. I need the AA stuff as well, you know? Like Fantasy Life, things like that, I need those. So Switch 1 did not get those in the first. I mean, it got like straight up indie games, like Shovel Knight and stuff. That's what the best ones were. Like, Sonic Mania, which, it's kind of like an indie game within the Sonic, right? So yeah. Like Dragon Quest, like my big RPGs. So yeah. 2017 is good, but yeah, it's just, like I said, the problem is the lack of major third-party games or even AA third-party. Just a lot of indie instead, Wii U games were new to most people. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were on the system with 150 million install base. Is it the same? It's not about it being the same in terms of the sentiment of the install base. It's about if you count something, you have to count the other thing. It's about actually being accurate. If you're okay with ports from previous systems being counted as a benefit to the system, then you have to be able to say, okay, well, this is a port from the previous system, and that also counts. How many people had access to it, or the sales of it, or what people have or not have, that's not relevant to having an actual comparison. Because now you're getting into semantics of who had it, who did it, and that's even harder to play, right? When you start saying stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, Mario Kart 8 sold 8 million units, it sold a lot, so people definitely played it. They probably played it at their friend's house who had a Wii U or something. So I get what you're saying, Sonic Slim, but when you start doing that, you start making special rules. I'm not a fan of special rules like some ports count for Wii U, but ports don't count for Switch 2 because more people had access to Switch 1 than Wii U. Like that doesn't count. Everybody saw the Wii U. They saw what it was. If they wanted to go get one, they could have went and got one, but they opted to not get it. And it's there. It's factually there. So it counts, Let's see here. Tears of the Kingdom came out in 2023. I thought it was the first calendar year. No, we're talking about Breath of the Wild, not Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom came out on the Switch 2 at launch. So that's the first calendar year. That's 2025. It came out in June on the Switch 2. Well, core Nintendo gamers, we had the Wii U and already had played these games when they showed up on Switch. Well, that's what I'm saying, but he's saying that way more people got a Switch than the Wii U, so does that count for something? I'm like, well, we can't start, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, we can't start doing that, because it's not applicable to everyone. Like, I wasn't like me, I had all these games on Wii U, So it's like, we can't start separating that type of stuff in order to say, oh, well, more people had the Switch, so these ones don't count. So that's adjustment to 3.
We got a good 3D Sonic game instead of Sonic Forces.
That's true. Sonic Forces was trash. Sonic Generations and Sonic Cross Shadow, that's definitely good. That's definitely good. Let me read what Dane had to say. Dane with the dollar. Thank you so much, Dane. I appreciate that. And he says, there's no way Switch 2 launches is a B. This is the best first 6 months for any console. Launches at least an A-, in my opinion. What grade would you give the Switch 2 launch? And what grades would you give the PS5 and Xbox launches in comparison? That's a good question. I have a video tomorrow where I'll give my absolute, like, final launch, you know, grade. But I'm trending towards above a C- or C+. How about that? I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be above a C+ for the Switch 2. I'll also grade the Switch 1, I guess, but it's not fair because I'm doing it like in retrospect. I think if you told me back then, I probably would have graded the Switch 1 like an A or near an A or B+ or A, definitely, because we're coming off of the Wii U. And I think that's the problem with even doing this in the first place, is that your mindset of what you get is so tilted towards what happened. Well, what happened with the Switch 1? It came off the Wii U. The Wii U got bodied. The Wii U got destroyed. The Wii U launched with freaking Nintendo Land and what? And New Super Mario Bros? Yeah. And we didn't get another big first party game to like Pikmin like 7 months later. So you were still thinking about the Wii U launch. In 2017, I was thinking about that and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. This time we get Breath of the Wild. Then we get Mario Kart. Yeah, it's the same thing, but at least we get a multiplayer game. Then we get ARMS. Then we get Splatoon. And we get all of that within the March, April, May, June, July. Within the 4 months, this launch is fantastic, right? So you start thinking about it that way. Then, oh, wait a minute. We got Mario. Then we got Zero. It's a good launch, man. But when you look at it in hindsight and you compare it to, okay, look, it was devoid of third-party content, third-party AAA games. You know, it was devoid of that. So we got to start judging it fairly against Switch 2, which Switch 2 had a bunch of first-party games too. Switch 2 had more first-party releases in the first 6 months than the Switch 1 had. I think if you count Welcome Tour, if you count all that stuff, it might have had just as much or a little bit less in the first 6 months than the first 9 months of the Switch 1. But then you have to go back and say, okay, well, look, there was also a lot of first party games, right? So you got to look at the third party too. So it's an interesting discussion and debate for sure. Wii U also deal with Lego City Undercover. Yeah. Justin, or Dane, thank you for the dollar. Yeah, I did read off your dono. Sorry for it taking so long. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said on that one? Wii U 3DS launches were just great. 3DS launch was quite possibly the worst launch that I've ever seen in my life. The girl that I was dating at the time bought me a 3DS. But that was a absolutely dreadful, terrible, awful launch. Like, it was completely trash. The 3DS launch was pitiful. It was so bad. Oh my gosh, it was bad. And I even knew it was bad because I didn't buy any games for like the 3DS at launch. I didn't buy a single game. All I did was play Face Raiders and mess with the AR cards. So yeah. So it was just crazy. 3DS recovered well, to be fair. It did, but the launch was trash. The first 6 months were not great. I mean, it got better as time went on, but it really didn't kick off till the end of the year. The 3DS kicked off at the end of the year when it got Kingdom Hearts. I bought that. Dream Drop Distance. It got Kingdom Hearts. It got Mario Kart 7. And it got Super Mario 3D Land. Back to back to back. I'm like, okay, here we go. That is that is how you get it done. If they would have launched with those games, it would have been much, much, much better. Much better. So yeah. Much better. Yep, you heard. Okay, yeah, no problem. Shout out. Sorry for taking so long, Dane. Thank you for the $1 dono, brother. Yeah, I heard you on that one, Casual Noob. After you got your Switch 2, you went long stretches without even getting it, right? Yeah, or without playing a game. Yeah, Switch 2, it's been like non-stop playing games for me with Switch 2, like non-stop games. Like, so I'm with you on that one. Like non-stop games just coming out. Also, big love, guys. Hit that like button if you have not hit that like button. 72 on the combo board. We are only, what's that, 28 combos away from that platinum streak. Let's go. Shout outs, guys. I appreciate y'all. I have a game called Radiant Historia. Have any of you heard of it? Yeah, I've heard of it. It's really good. It's a Atlas, turn-based RPG, from the DS era. And then I think it was remastered on the 3DS. So, yeah, it's good. Nintendo published titles on Switch 1 in 2017 from March to August. None in August since Mario plus Rabbids is Ubisoft. 6 games. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, like, nobody's gonna let us not count the calendar year, though, DJ King. So it's like, Switch 1 automatically gets that extra. It gets the 9 months to Switch 1 6 months, you know? Zelda Breath of the Wild, Snipper Clips, 1-2 Switch Arms, Splatoon 2, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Switch 1 is not waiting. Well, yeah, once again, if you say within the first 6 months, Switch 1 gets absolutely obliterated. It's not even fair, you know? If you say within the first 6 months of the Switch 2, absolutely cream. Just wallop the first 6 months of the Switch 1. Like, if you do 6 months, it's not even fair. Not even fair at all. Want to buy Trails in the Sky after I finish Metroid Prime 4 and Hyrule Warriors? Nice. One day you gotta rank video game systems launch days. We need to talk about this. We've talked about it before, Yamuchi. Like we've discussed it before, but yeah, that might be pretty good to like make like a big video on it, you know. So yeah. Yeah, Breath of the Wild's also on the Wii. It dual launched. So Breath of the Wild came out on March 3rd, 2017 for Switch 1 and for Wii U. Dual launch. Nah, 3DS had a top 5 launch, quite possibly a top 3 of all time. First few months, abundance of games. This guy hasn't got a clue. Phenomenal launch, non-stop games coming out, Unreal handheld, top tier launch. Okay, that's got to be that's definitely a joke. Yes, I did pick up Red Dead Redemption. Let me show you guys my physical copy. Give me a second. Yeah, I actually got it a little bit ago. But yeah, I think I even got a PS5 copy of the game as well, too. Let me double check. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, actually, no, it's over. I think it's over there, but it's behind me. It's behind my green screen. But yeah, I did get it. The PS5 or the PS4 copy. The PS4 version was $10. This was like $24. So I did get it. So yeah, it's sealed though. Haven't opened it yet, but yeah, I will. Maybe. I beat the game on the 360 back when it came out. So yeah. I forgot Tears and Breath of the Wild was on Switch 2 as a port. Yes, they were on Switch 2 as a port. Yes. 3DS launch was horrible, so bad it made me satisfied with my DS Lite. Yeah, DS Lite was looking pretty good. Pokemon still came out on the DS. I'm loving Red Dead on Switch 2. It feels so smooth. Yep, 60 frames. There were many gamers who would buy the 3DS at start with the better games, but never did after it got better. I think there's definitely some people, yeah, that maybe just never got it, never just decided that they're good. I don't know how many people that is, though, to be honest. But yeah, the slow start hurt the 3DS. If it actually launched like with games, I think it would have sold 80 to 90 million. So I do think that, yeah, like, because like momentum is a thing, right? Momentum is a thing. And if you have a big launch, like with great games that people want, you need that momentum. If you launch without big games that people want, it sinks your whole system. It brings down the whole generation. Think about it for Nintendo specifically. This is more unique to Nintendo than it is to other systems. But think about it for a second, guys. Nintendo's most successful systems always launch with some type of banger that everybody wants or everybody thinks that they want. Nintendo's unsuccessful systems do not launch with bangers that everybody wants. like the launch lineups. It's like that for real. Their most successful systems, there's always like, okay, that was a super banger, right? Like you look at the Wii, right? That's one of their most successful systems. They launched with Wii Sports and The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Yeah, that's a launch, right? You look at the Switch, their most successful system of all time. Yeah, that launched with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a banger that everybody wanted. So you need that big momentum. Look at the Switch 2. What did it launch with? A bunch of stuff that people want. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom in 60 frames per second, upgrades for a bunch of games, Super Mario Odyssey, 4K 60, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet fixed. You like Pokemon? You want it to run at not 3 frames per second? Fixed on the Switch 2 at launch. Oh, by the way, brand new Mario Kart game. Oh, by the way, new Donkey Kong game coming out the next month. Oh, by the way, you're also gonna get a nice Hyrule Warriors spin-off, Zelda spin-off, in addition to Kirby coming as well. Plus Metroid Prime 4. In addition to a bunch of third-party games. Like, yeah, you need that momentum, bro. It's so important to have the consistent lineup of games come out. You know? Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it's debatable when it comes to first party wise. It's debatable which one is better. I think obviously Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are huge, you know, when it comes to first party. But like I said, man, I'm telling you, it's debatable because I think really Donkey Kong Bonanza I think might be better than Mario Odyssey. Yes, Breath of the Wild, there's nothing as good when it comes to Breath of the Wild as a release on the Switch 2. I don't think there's anything quite as good as a new release, even though Breath of the Wild is on the Switch 2. But I do think that the sum of the parts between Pokemon Legends ZA, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and Kirby Air Riders, I think that's really good and can help kind of fight the Breath of the Wild menace. And then also Metroid Prime 4 on top of that for core gamers, in addition to getting, yes, not first party, but still console exclusive, Hades 2. That dropped as well. As a console, I mean, it'll come to PlayStation and Xbox later, but as a console exclusive, and on top of that, on top of all that, plus you have the third-party support, I think Switch 2 wins overall. But first-party wise, I think it's close. I think it's very close. I think it's super close. And once again, you have to extend it to 9 months compared to only 6 months of the Switch 2. Hey, what's up, Ben's 310? Xbox Series, Dookie, no Halo. Yep, no Halo. Yeah, we also got GameCube. The thing with Switch 1 is that Switch 1, the online got delayed for a year plus. So we didn't get the NSO until a year later. Switch 2, we had NSO from the beginning. All of the stuff that you already have on top of getting GameCube NSO. So, I mean, that was also big too. The worst launch was the PS5. Can't enjoy something you cannot buy because it's sold out. Yeah, I mean, I think that the PS5 launch was okay. You know, you had Miles Morales, you had Demon Souls. You know, I don't think I bought a game though. There wasn't a single game that I bought. You had the Little Big Planet game. I think you had a couple other stuff, but yeah, the PS5 launch I think was atrocious because I didn't buy anything. But it was better than the Xbox Series launch. Xbox literally had no first-party games. Like Xbox, and I remember I put up a tweet. Man, I put up a tweet on my page, and I got a lot of people talking about that tweet. So I said Xbox worst rollout. Worst rollout. Let me see if I can find that tweet. Okay. So I put up this tweet more than 4 years ago now, actually going on 5 years ago, which it feels like it was yesterday, to be honest. It feels like it was yesterday, but this was the tweet that I put up back in 2021 March 2021. I put up this tweet and I said, I'm not trying to troll here, but does the Xbox Series S/X have the worst launch rollout of games ever? I mean, there has barely been anything exclusives wise. and no major exclusives are dated, with the exception of Halo Infinite for this year? Correct me if I'm wrong. So, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen after I made this tweet. But everyone's kind of agreeing with me. Like, this launch was atrocious. At least PS5 had some stuff. Yo, that's it. Hey, yo, with that 28 Udabudos. Blast.
OJ, happy holidays here to send you the dono to get the platinum limit. Happy JOJO Fridays to you. So far the Switch 2 might be having the high score in January though. Music request F0 any track.
I got you right after we do this. Thank you so much. Bad Set hitting us with the, you know what time it is, the Shador. Yo, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And also Ben's 310 with the JOJO on Friday.
Hello OJ and everyone. Lurking and chillin'. Bought Little Nightmare 3, Galaxy Bundle, Persona 3, Metroid Prime 4. Still playing Demon X Machina but need to shelf it for Metroid.
Yep.
Backlog is crazy.
Yeah.
Lol clinking glasses.
Hey, appreciate you, Ben's 310. Big love. Yeah, that's backlog be going burr. Backlog goes burr. Yeah, shout outs to Ben's 310. And yo, got a 38 blast out of nowhere from Vadset and Ben's 310. Let's go. I'll add those to the board right after this. But yeah, man, look at this, bruh. Like, this is crazy. Nah, this is correct. That Halo Infinite delay hurt pretty bad. Yeah. Says, I love my Xbox Series X, but all I really play is Gears, says Dreamcast guy. Remember all the criticism the Switch received at launch because it only had Breath of the Wild? Yeah. N64 with 2 games for the longest time, while Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64 were both great. It took a while to get some variety on that system. Yeah. Machine Wolf 86 with the $5 dono says, what up, PlayerEssence? My year and review said that you were my top watch channel. Hey, yo, raise the roof, baby, like 1992. Shout outs. Thank you so much for the Machine Wolf. Thank you for watching, brother. I appreciate you. Let's see. Dreamcast guy hates Switch and everything for it now. Yeah. I think part of the reason why is because the Switch really started threatening PlayStation a little bit. I think it's getting a little bit too close. So I think the activation kind of boosted up for Dreamcast guy. Shout out to, I'm not hating or nothing. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. Like I said, he's cool. We're homies. But I think that like Switch just seemed like a little off thing that wasn't a big deal. But then wait a minute, hold up. It's actually starting to get some traction. People are buying it. So I think like the curtains kind of came up a little bit when it comes down to that. But yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Mario 64 was revolutionary though. Not sure I would have made this tweet if Xbox launch was something as big as Mario 64. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't have. Not saying it was a great launch, but the 3DS launch was spooky. Let's not forget that. True. Nintendo had Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7, and Kingdom Hearts all before the first year dated. The rollout of M4 exclusives has been pretty bad. Yeah. True. The 3DS launch was bad, but they did have all these games saying that they're coming in the first year. Like, so there was that. Do you have it? If not, why do you care? Yes, I have one. I've been playing Xbox since the original Halo. That ended the conversation with me and this guy. Actually, in terms of availability, games, and features, this is one of the best launches. Take a look at the previous generation. Bare bones features, 0 backwards compatibility. So you were limited to the usual lackluster launch titles. Wii U, PS2, PS3 launch with backwards compatibility. That's true. This guy says, again, Nintendo Switch had it bad. All the games the Switch's launch were Wii U ports, resold everything Mario Kart to Zelda Breath of the Wild, but Nintendo gets a pass again. Even if you take Zelda and Mario Kart 8, Switch still had ARMS, Splatoon 2, Mario plus Rabbids, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade 2, and Super Mario Odyssey in the first 9 months for exclusives. You can only play on your Switch and not Wii U ports. Far more than Xbox Series X and S. Uh-oh. There's no response on that one. You know they're getting cooked. It's really bad, says Stealth. I do think a few PS5 first-party games are bound to be delayed to 2022, but already Sony's output definitely much stronger than Microsoft's as far as the recent new systems. The Series X is a dope tech that lacks the software that needs to show off. PlayStation at least has some great showcase games. Yeah. Perfect console if you've never owned an Xbox console before, but Xbox fans, yeah, it's been empty. Yeah, PS5 has zero appeal outside of the Dark Souls remake. Majority of games can be played on PS4 come with the upgrade. Neither console's worth it, the immediate investment. Yeah. Both consoles could have been delayed a year, and I don't think anyone would have been that upset, especially seeing how the slow rollout of games. Just imagine if it was like the PS4 and had no backwards compatibility. At least Xbox has something going for them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Interesting to see what people said all those years ago, you know? Big love, guys. Shout outs. Let's go ahead and let's get the JoJo going. Combo breaks. And you guys know the deal. JoJo Friday. We out here. Alright, let's get some tracks. We got to get some tunes going too as well. F-Zero music. Appreciate you guys. JoJo boys in the house as well. F-Zero, baby! Let's go. I love F-Zero. I love old school Super Nintendo F-Zero. I used to play this game. I'm gonna take you guys back to 1991-ish. 91, 92. Let me take you guys back in time, bro. Take you guys back in time. Man, I remember coming home from school. I remember my mom's cooking in Nigerian dishes, like it's called fufu, and like you dip it into like a sauce and like you eat it like a soup and you eat it. And I remember my mom's soup, and I remember my mom's chicken and rice, and I remember Fridays in like 1991, 92, coming home from school, and I remember playing. We had this little room, tiny room that in our little, I mean, it wasn't a little apartment, it was a 3-bedroom apartment, but in this apartment that we had, and you walk into the living room, you go to the right, and then me and my brother's room, or my brother and my room was on the right and then in the corner. And we had this little room with a bunk bed, a little closet that me and my brother shared, and we had no chairs in there, just a bunk bed. We had a little stand, a little ghetto stand, and this little gray TV. I think it was about maybe a 10-inch TV or 10 or 13-inch TV with antennas on it and a knob. And I remember playing F-Zero all night on Fridays.
Also, something else
You know?
that was cool was surprises that were announced out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Kinda like Romancing Saga 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Tomb Raider, and Red Dead. Nothing too crazy, but still cool surprises.
Yeah, I agree. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for the $3 dono, brother. A lot of good surprises too as well. And I remember thinking when it was nighttime, Justin, when I was playing F-Zero back in the early 90s, it'd be nighttime, and I think that it was the perfect time to play because I loved the title screen. The title screen was night, and like you have this futuristic city, and it'd make me think about my future and how things are going to be in the future and what I'm going to do when I grow up and what I'm going to like, where I'm going to live and all sorts of things. It would just make me feel good, you know? The future felt like this crazy futuristic technological beast, you know? So it was just good times, man. And like I said, we were poor, but my dad and my mom did the best that they could to get us things, to get us stuff, and for us to play games and all of that, you know? So me and my brother, we'd take turns playing F-Zero, you know, or we would play the games, you know, multiplayer, we'd do whatever. So it was a lot of fun, man. I have a lot of good memories with F-Zero, just playing with my brother, getting blown up in the city, you know, falling off the track, the Mode 7, all that stuff was really cool, man. It was super, super cool. You know what, I'll be honest, I thought the future would be more cool than it is now. Like, back then, I was thinking that we were gonna have flying cars. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy an F-Zero car. Like, I used to tell myself, I'm gonna buy the Blue Falcon. Or I'm gonna make like, that's what I told myself back then. I was like, I'm gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna be like Captain Falcon. That's what I thought. Like, that could be like a profession. I'm gonna drive around in a Blue Falcon, and I'm gonna beat people up, and I'm gonna be a bounty hunter. I legitimately thought, like, I thought it was like a futuristic policeman. Cause like back, like there were times like I wanted to be like a police officer, and I was like, oh, but in the future, it's not gonna be like regular police officer, like wearing like, you know, like the black or blue or whatever. Like, you're gonna be like a future cop. You're gonna be like someone that like is like, you know, going around like in like a cool car, like a flying car, and like shooting people like with space lasers. Like, I legitimately thought these things back then. That was the funny thing. Like, I legit thought that I can be like a bounty hunter, like freaking like Samus or like Captain Falcon. So yeah. Oh yeah, I was wrong. But everybody, dude, everybody thought that there's gonna be flying cars in the future. Like, you ever seen Back to the Future? Like, everybody thought that there's gonna be flying cars by now. We all thought, back then, we all thought by the year 2000, because 2000 sounded so futuristic, we all thought by, like, around 2000, there'd be hoverboards and like, flying cars. Dude, like, we were wrong. Like, we were so wrong. But who is using the Mad Catz controller? Oh, yeah. I used the ghetto Mad Catz controller because they were cheaper. Oh yeah, I used those. Those controllers were ghetto though. Shoutouts, guys. 120 on the board. Overclocks. Limit breaks. You know the deal. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, same here. I thought we'd always have flying cars. Oh yeah, I thought that. Man. I thought it. I blame Dragon Ball Z for flying cars. Yeah. I thought the economy would be okay. I thought that everyone would be like multi-millionaires. Like, I thought that everyone would be multi-millionaires. I thought everybody would live in nice big old houses. I thought that there'd be like crazy professions like bounty hunter and like futuristic super soldier racer. I thought that people would have superpowers like, you know, like Incredible Hulk or not like Incredible Hulk, like Cyclops. Like, you can buy like beam shooters, you know, like, and I didn't think that like the back of my mind, I thought that. Not like I thought that, like, oh yeah, it was gonna happen 100%, but it was like, yeah, I think that it could happen. Like, I thought people were gonna be like, you know, like, we'd be able to figure out how to like jet propulsion, like, figure out like how to fly to places, you know, like with like a rocket pack, like, well, I mean, there are rocket packs, but like consumer-friendly rocket packs, like on your arms and like legs, and you can just like hover, like, and like fly like Iron Man or something like that. I thought we'd have that. Gosh, there's all sorts of things I thought that we'd have, like, back in 1991 playing F-Zero. I was wrong. Future sucks. No, I'm joking. Yeah, we got Tesla. Oh my gosh, what a... Oh my goodness. Man, it's kind of the opposite right now. I know, seriously. Hey, OG, did you used to have a Game Shark? I did have Game Shark back in the day. Yeah, the cheat codes, yeah, I had that. 2020 just feel like a modern, just feels modern, not even futuristic, bro. And depending on where you live, it does not even feel futuristic, you know, like, so I did feel like we'd have more like everywhere there'd be like crazy like skyscrapers and stuff like that. Self-lacing shoes like Back to the Future, yeah. I watched all the Back to the Future movies, but I don't remember them because I watched them so long ago, so I don't remember all the movies, and I have not rewatched Back to the Future. I need to rewatch all those movies from start to finish, like at the beginning. We technically have hoverboards. Those hoverboards suck. I thought we'd have teleportation. Oh yeah, I think when I first saw what's it called? Chrono Trigger, like where you do like the teleportation machine. Like, I thought we'd have teleportation as well, or that's a time travel machine, but I thought we'd have ways like to teleport us as well. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, well, we have more billionaires. Not sure if we consider that a good or bad thing. Yeah. Not necessarily a great thing, to be honest, overall. Yep, you were right. I thought it was going to be like Jetsons. Yeah, I used to watch the Jetsons. I thought, but I was always scared of the Jetsons because I was like, what if you fall? Like, Jetsons, like they all live in like in the sky. But like, what if you fall? Like that's pretty easy to fall. So that's why I was like, yeah, Jetsons is cool, but I don't know if it's like, you know, if I want to like do that, because it's like, what if I fall, you know? What happens? I rode a hoverboard a few weeks ago. I felt like a douchebag. Oh my gosh. Psycho 5, bro. If ride a hoverboard wearing a Daisy outfit. Wearing like Princess Daisy outfit. I don't know if that's even legal where you're at. I don't think that's even, that's like you might get arrested if you try that, you know? You might get arrested. Straight up arrested if you did that. Straight up. So yeah, man. With Switch 2 having a stronger third-party support, Switch 1 more than likely Switch 2 legs will be better. Do you think Switch 2 will have a puncher's chance to pass up Switch 1? It has a puncher's chance, but I don't think it will. But it definitely has a chance. It just depends on how long Nintendo supports it and, you know, what they're able to do with it. We have AI cat videos. Yeah, I know, that's what we have. Great. Great. Oh, gosh. Corny. But anyway, guys, I have not even noticed the time. Our time is up here. We have hit the 3 hour, which is crazy because I felt like I just started. But we have hit the 3 hour mark already somehow. So that is wild, man. That is so wild. So yeah, maybe real life Trunks will come back in our time in the future to claim time travel. Bro, maybe. Maybe. Shout outs, guys. Thank you so much. Mr. Vadset. Thank you so much for the JoJo. We gotta play. We went further than beyond. You started that off, and then Ben's 310 with the... I love that JoJo Friday. So thank you guys so much for your support tonight, man. Seriously. Big love. Sonic Slim. Justin. Machine Wolf. Ben's 310. Vadcent. Big dono from Vadcent. Justin. Dane Gonzalez. Justin again. Tim McDonald did not have a farm. Nah, he had a farm. Dane once again. Timothy Lee. Timmy. Justin once again. Multiple times. Josh. Shout outs to Josh. Switch After Dark. Huddy. KC. DeAndre. Paul Gale. Shaw X. Brotendo Shillington. Bingo. Justin once again. Thank you guys so much for your support, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Shout outs to everybody that dropped comments. Everybody that dropped donos. Everybody that became a member. Everybody that just watched, man. You guys are incredible, bruh. You guys are so awesome. I appreciate y'all so much. Seriously. Thank you so much for everything. We will be back tomorrow. We're probably going to do Spawncast pre-show. Yeah, we're probably going to do Spawncast pre-show, and then we'll go from there, you know? And we will go from there overall. So, yeah, man. Absolutely. So, thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you guys for being awesome. Watch my most recent video. What's up, The Great Wall? Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you, fam. Check it out. Check out the video. Hit the like button before you go if you didn't hit the like button. And yeah, watch the vids, man. Watch the vids. It's a lot of good stuff. And thank you to everybody. If I was in your top 5 content creators for the year, thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you for me being in your top 5. So yeah. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Shout outs, guys. Appreciate that. And we will see you for the next one. All right. Peace out.